bitch. Oh, excuse you. Baloney wash. I'm annoyed. I'm just here to give my opinion and carry Annie. Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Hey y'all, welcome and happy Thursday. It's your boy Chris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. A show we basically talk about all things going on in pop culture and hot topic. Hold on now, I didn't realize I gotta adjust my light. Anyway, should have did that before I went live. But anyway, welcome to Chris Avalon Unfiltered, a show we basically talk about all things going on in pop culture and hot topics. So if that is a show for you, definitely stick around because we got a lot of tea to spill today. Including we got like what 12 topics, including we got to talk about the Odyssey surpassing 700 million globally after 12 days in theaters. We got to talk about this drama surrounding this Children of Blood and Bone trail. I mean, movie. Now that the trailer's out, the author Tomi Adeyemi is speaking out about it. So we'll get into that. She went on, I believe, TikTok and put out a video. Plus, we got to talk about this drama surrounding Jared Leto and these accusations. It's funny how it went real quiet. All of a sudden, this big bombshell dropped yesterday, and we wasn't here, so we got to talk about it today. Plus, we got to talk about BTS and this whole Grammy drama where people are crying racism over this new category that they decided to come up with, and BTS have taken themselves out of the running. The CEO has responded. We'll get into that. Plus, I saw this thing over on Twitter, and we love our pop girlies over here. So I thought it'd be interesting. We do our top 5 pop girls that they ranked. They picked Gaga, Perry, Swift, Beyonce, Grande. Y'all know me. We break rules over here, so I made my list. That's not these girls, but if I have to choose, I'll put them in an order, and then we could all play along and stuff when we get around to that as well. Plus, we got to talk about this drama surrounding Usher that he be going on stage pulling a Janet Jackson, trying to give people lap dances and stuff. And one of the girls is mad because she was like, "That Chris Brown to pick me." This fucking bird. So I got that. Plus, I got a clip of Lisa Ray McCoy talking about it, and so I want to play y'all that and stuff as well. And Usher issuing a warning from here on out in regards to that what happened at that situation. Plus, we got to talk about this issue going on with I think Tamar Braxton did an interview over on I think it was she did an interview but talking about her issue or whatever with Kandi Burruss. Also addressed Jason Lee's interview with Carlos King. So we're gonna break on that down. Cardi B is confirming that she did get her butt injections reduced. So we'll get into that. Diddy done had his prison release date moved yet again, despite being put in solitary confinement last week for fighting. We also got to talk about Boy George and this whole situation regarding him posting up this pro-Israel song that he said was made with AI. It's like, so you didn't deny the fact that you made a pro-Israel song. You even going 10 toes down on the AI thing. I guess anything for a tired old faggot to stay relevant. But anyway, so his former Moulin Rouge co-star has come out and said that he is a horrible performer and talked about his working with him and all that other stuff. Plus, we got to talk about Alaska. Speaking of Broadway, Alaska got herself a new gig. We're gonna get into that, and we got to talk about plain Jane out here throwing shit or attempting to, because every time she tries to read, it hits with a whimper rather than a bang. Um, Try to throw shade at Laura Roach over the whole Project Runway drama. Did an interview with Entertainment Weekly and everything, so we'll break that down. Plus, we got to talk about speaking of Drag Race. RuPaul done broke a sing world record, made Guinness World Record. So we'll break all that down and a whole lot more. So before we get to those topics, please do me a solid, hit that like button. New to the channel, hit the subscribe, smash the notification bell, hype the channel, do all the things, and all the new people that have subscribed, because I was getting messages to my I like thank you for I'm a subscriber now, love your content. I did get one note and I am gonna go buy it, but I think it's the New Yorker in me. We tend to talk a little too fast. So she was like, "Can you slow it down a little bit?" So I'm not going to talk Perez Hilton slow, because you know how he does. He got to enunciate every goddamn word to the point where it's annoying. But I'm gonna take my time to get to the minutia. So I'm not going to try to. I'm trying not to speak, because in New York we definitely do talk pretty fast. I've noticed that. But it's just a thing because we're always about speeding through everything, getting from point A to point B. We don't take our time with stuff, which we should. So I'm gonna try to work on taking my time when I talk, so that way people can pick up everything that I'm saying. Because I know it could be a lot. Even if we got the closed caption, it was like the closed caption probably be like, "Damn, bitch, slow down." Anyway, Onyx is here with a coinky dink. Ariana performed pedal after we talked about her so much on your last show. Yeah, and the music video I think is supposed to be coming out this week, right? Is it today or tomorrow? And then I just saw that Charlie XCX's interview with Zane Lowe dropped. I didn't get around to watching it yet because I was putting the show together and I was catching up on my politics. That's usually what I do in the morning. And Black Love is in the building. Speaking of which, because I be forgetting, let me hit that. And let's get right into the show, y'all. So before we do that, let me hit my banner. And without further ado, let's get into topic number one, which is the Odyssey. So people are still loving the Odyssey. People are still going to see the Odyssey. It is still an event type of film. People are trying to see it in IMAX or 75 millimeter, whatever the hell the millimeter. I think it is 75 millimeter. Doing the whole millimeter experience, whatever. It's funny because now that I've really sat with this movie, after a couple of days, it's still a good movie. I relatively enjoyed it. 3 hours, everything. But I feel like the issue that I've always had with Christopher Nolan, because he's not one of my favorite directors. I've always said, like, if I had to choose between, well, not have to choose, but when we talk about people who make event films, I feel like Christopher Nolan is up there. He's like our modern day Steven Spielberg, where people know him by name. Anytime Christopher Nolan drops a movie, people are immediately going to go see it. Same thing I feel about Denis Villeneuve. Like, but the difference between, I think, Denis Villeneuve and Christopher Nolan, Denis Villeneuve was a way better filmmaker. I don't have no issues with his action sequences. I don't have no issues with his audio. I don't have any issues with a lot of the stuff. The issue I always have with Christopher Nolan, he is horrible at shooting action. Hated, and you already know how I feel about his Dark Knight films. Hated the way his Bane and Batman fight scene was shot. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And then also, don't even get me started in that third act when the Gotham police was fighting all the criminals that was going along with him. You could tell by the fight choreography that they were miming, and it wasn't even like real. It wasn't like well choreographed. And I feel like Christopher Nolan needs to hire people who could shoot action for him. That I think will make his movies better. But he seemed like one of those people that wants to do everything himself. I got to write the film. I got to like he is like the white equivalent of Tyler Perry, where I got to do everything. And then you start to notice, like, when you try to do everything instead of hiring the best of the best to strengthen your weaknesses, that's when it becomes a problem. And so, yes, Christopher Nolan makes great movies, but my issues always with him is his sound quality is always horrible, and like the music is always louder than the dialogue. I can barely understand what the people saying, and then the action is always shit. So I really need him to work on that, and that's what frustrated me about the Odyssey as well. The cameras were like, why are you shooting everything so close? Like when you watch action, I would think that people would learn from like John Wick and those type of things where people want to see what's going on. You want to do like those big wide shots where you capture the action and the interaction between people and the sword fighting and all other stuff, and then you cut to certain things when you want to kind of switch it up. So that's kind of like my overall frustration. I hope he works on that, but I doubt it. So anyway, but regardless of my gripes, the movie has so far, I believe it's going to hit a billion. It's going to be another $1 billion film. So it's so far in the U.S. $700 million. What they said at the global box office, becoming the fourth highest grossing film in 2026 after just 12 days in theaters. So it has generated 320.5 million domestically and 407.4 million overseas, bringing worldwide ticket sales to 727.9 million. Hollywood's top three releases of 2026 are June's Toy Story 5, 1.2 billion, and April's Super Mario Brother Galaxy movie, or the Super Mario Galaxy movie, with 1.001 billion, and Michael with 1.001 billion in the coming week. The Odyssey will join those films in the billion-dollar club, a remarkable feat that underscores Nolan's ability to transform his movies into cultural events. These ticket sales are all the more impressive considering that the Odyssey is yet to open in China but you know that it's probably going to do well over there too. The world's second largest movie going market. The country is rolling out the red carpet treatment for the film, which is expected to land on nearly 800 IMAX screens and across thousands of standard auditoriums on August 14th. Even with outsized competition from Sony and Marvel Adventures, Spider-Man Brand New Day, which I'm hearing is going to kill it at the box office. I'm hearing it's going to be like it may gross about 200 million, but we'll see. And I'm avoiding all the spoilers because I'm going to go see Spider-Man tomorrow. Well, yeah, they said Spider-Man Brand New Day was debuts on Friday and is primed to score one of the biggest openings of all time. The Odyssey is expected to remain a force at the box office. It could earn as much as 50 million to 60 million in its third weekend of release, a tally that most adult skewing dramas would be lucky to earn in their debuts these days. The Odyssey cost 250 million, marking Nolan's most expensive film to date. It'll soon be the most commercially successful too. It's primed to overtake The Dark Knight, which made 1.008 billion, and 2012's The Dark Knight Rises with 1.08 billion as the director's highest grossing film of all time. Now, adapted from Homer's 3,000. Now, when people say spoiler alert, spoiler, I'm like, really? You know, the Homer's the poem was written 3,000 years ago. So what spoiler? Um Film stars Matt Damon as Greek King Odysseus. The Odyssey has been a major draw in IMAX as the first feature shot entirely with IMAX cameras. It's been sold out in those formats for weeks so far. IMAX has contributed 140 million of the film's global ticket sales. It's the company's second fastest title after Avengers Endgame to surpass the $100 million mark, having done so in just 10 days. So, congratulations. Well deserved, but and you already heard my gripes and everything. I don't need to rehash that. But yeah, congratulations. I'm glad that the film is doing what it's doing. And I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I was hearing that they said with the Odyssey has gotten a lot of Gen Z to get into the audio book version of the Odyssey. I'm like, what, y'all don't read? I mean, but at least we getting somewhere, right? We got y'all listening. That's as close I guess we gonna get because nobody wants to actually crack it open and try to read it. Or maybe some people have said that Homer's The Odyssey or any of Homer's work basically is hard to decode or hard to understand. So maybe by listening to it, the way it rolls off the tongue by whoever's reading it, because I don't know, I haven't heard the audiobook. I don't know who's reading it. But whoever's reading, maybe it goes down a lot better than them actually having to read it in the text in which it was written. So I guess congratulations to everybody who's involved. Congratulations to Christopher Nolan. Congratulations on the success of the movie. And I'm definitely curious to see what else he's going to tackle after this whole venture has winded down and we done moved on to the next big adventure, event film. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding the Odyssey and the fact that it's almost hitting at $1 billion? Now, maybe it'll hit a billion once it opens in China in August, but we'll see how the international numbers continue and the US, well, the domestic numbers continue while, Spider-Man comes out today. Or did it come out yesterday? I don't know. I didn't check to see the exact date, but I'm assuming that Thursday night is the night where it's officially dropped. Embargo's already been lifted. The critics have already seen it, and everybody's loving it and all that stuff. And I know they did. I think they did fan screenings too. They always do that in the week, but I wasn't able to go because I had to work. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Right. I was like, hold on. I always forget to open up this other thing. The music video drops tomorrow at 11 a.m. Can't wait to see your reaction to all new music coming out tomorrow on Patreon. Ari Slater and Arca is feeding every personality in me. I'm hoping that I can actually take these records and do like a whole listening thing over on Patreon. I'll have to find the time this weekend to do that. Arga server Alien Fantasy tonight with 5 X's. I think it's pronounced, what, 15? I need her to let us know how it's pronounced. I read the Odyssey in high school. Sometimes listening helps immerse the reader. Okay. He said, I'm going to see Spider Man tomorrow. Same. Evil Dead Burn drops Tuesday. Crystal hates the film, saying it needed a trigger warning. Child, come on now. I need y'all to grow. No shade. I need y'all to grow the fuck up. Movies do not need trigger warnings. You should know that when it comes to horror, you may see something that's gonna make you uncomfortable. I mean, horror is made to make you feel uncomfortable. So, um, and the French, here's the thing: the French don't care. They really don't. The French don't give a fuck. Everybody gets it in their movies. Men, women, children, animals, they all get it. Like the French has always been a little different when it comes to how they approach movies. They're pretty brutal in how they approach horror. So no, we don't need trigger warnings. I didn't have trigger warnings when I was growing up watching horror. Why the hell do y'all this generation need it? Stop. Because y'all have a thing for, I mean, I love animals too. And I was a little, and I didn't like the fact when he stabbed the dog repeatedly with the damn fork, but it happened. Oh yeah, Asian horror, they don't be playing too. It's like the foreign horror movies, they're always crazier than the American one. American ones are always, you know, the people that the was the MPAA, they always want, oh no, you can't put that in there, and that's offensive, and you can't do that, you can't do that. It's like, shut up. According to Patty, pop culture pedals sounds like Ariana farewell album. He feels like it's. I mean, it might be. I mean, at this point, look, she's someone who would we consider Ariana a legacy act? I get that from her. Like at this point, she's been making music long enough. I just don't think that the passion is there anymore. It's just let me do this record, let me tour, but I want to do other things. So she'll do Broadway, she'll do movies, and take it from there. Speaking of which, I forgot. I want to show y'all this clip. Have y'all been watching this clip going around about DJ Envy nasty? Well, I should call him DJ Swamp Ass. That's what we're gonna call him. Going around admitting that he didn't wash his ass properly until his wife basically washed his ass, because he said that they will wash each other in the shower, and then when she got too close to his booty, I was like, first of all, that's your wife, it's a woman. If she's playing with your third input, I don't think a man should be upset if a woman is putting a finger in a man's ass. That gay shit, y'all just need to put that out by the wayside. But these straight men with their toxic masculinity and their insecure ass egos, y'all just need to go play in fucking traffic. And you know what's the worst thing about DJ Envy? How does Ninja a damn Virgo? And he just got to be the dumbest Virgo under the sun. One of my friends said he must be like a Leo transplant, like the Leo that transfer over to the because I'm like, first of all, Virgos do not act like that. First, y'all know we are like clean Nazis. Like we are not. I don't like dirt. I don't like filth. I don't like funk. I don't like none of that stuff. But yeah, if y'all did not see this child, let me show y'all this clip. And how it all started is because Eric Benet did a video where he was talking about men and washing their ass, and that's where it came from that he decided to openly admit this, where you had that old deep voice bulldagger, Jess he not hilarious, up there and instigating the whole situation. So let's play that clip and then we'll come back and talk.
Eric Benet said this yesterday while he was in his tub taking a bath.
Look, if you are one of those men who feel like if you wash your ass with soap and water and get up in that motherfucker, make sure it's clean. If you're one of those men who feel like that simple hygiene act makes you gay, then you very well are probably a closeted gay male. You should wash your ass expeditiously. Yeah, your girlfriend will appreciate it, and from the sounds of it, your future boyfriend will appreciate it as well.
And no,
Really?
It's not gay to wash your ass. Yeah, it's definitely not gay. But you know what? What I used to hear some dudes say is like getting all up in there is like they would feel gay. They would feel gay. Like now I'm not digging all in my ass. And it's like, why not?
All right.
You have to.
All right, confession.
What's up?
I tell too much up here. My wife hates it, but it's all good.
What's up?
So yes, I used to be the type of guy that didn't quote unquote get up all in there.
See what
right?
I'm saying?
But I'm gonna tell you why.
Acting like you don't know what the hell going on.
But I never thought about it. That's not a conversation I had with the fellas at the barbershop, or we'll be out and about. Like, hey fellas, did you wash your ass? But let me tell you. So one day me and Ghee, this is a long time ago. We take showers with each other. We wash each other. Yeah. And one day she got it all in there. I'm like, whoa. And then I realized I'm supposed to wash my ass. thoroughly and correctly. So ever since that, I'm like, I wash my ass. But you should get up all in there. You don't want stinky ass.
That's what I'm saying. So what was on the rag when she washed your ass? You didn't know all that was all up in there? All them little dingleberries and all the butt crust all up in there, and she really went up in there and had to detail your ass, and you didn't think about it the whole time?
Detailing your ass.
Yeah, your boxes, your briefs wasn't crunchy at the end of the night?
They're not crunchy anymore, but that was when I was younger. But she did it, and I was like, oh, I have to get up. I wasn't thinking. I was just like a wang, right. Keep it moving. But now I
imagine how long before that happened. She was really thinking about really probably breaking up with you, or probably, that's probably why she didn't orgasm either, yo.
All right, enough.
Little stinky
but
ass.
Detailing your ass is funny. I like that.
Nigga.
Mr. Waxer?
First of all, I've never in my life heard this nonsense that y'all are speaking this morning. Okay. In fact, all the OGs around me always encouraged me to wash my ass.
Yeah, but
okay? They was homophobic. And they never ever told me not to wash my ass.
But she's talking about get in there.
All right.
Yeah, get in there.
These are the same people that would clown you for wearing pink. And never, ever told me not to wash my ass. They always encouraged me to wash my ass. And how is it gay when it's your hand in your ass? What's the difference between washing your ass and masturbating? If y'all think washing your ass is gay, then what do y'all think masturbation is? What are you doing here?
Yeah.
Fathers should be washing their infant son and toddlers' asses. And I have 3 washcloths. One for my body, one for my face, one for my ass and my penis. Okay?
Okay.
So what are we talking about here? This is ridiculous. Like, come on, man.
It's a lot of laundry.
Now, look, so I grew up with the shower hose.
That was saying that's a lot of laundry.
That detached. So I didn't never really have to bend over until I moved out. And I was like, how am I going to wash my ass with the shower hose that don't move?
Why are y'all bending over to wash your ass? You don't have to bend over to wash your ass.
Different ways to wash your ass,
No, you don't.
Let him talk.
There's different ways, y'all.
All right, so
you do not have to bend over to wash your ass. First of all you got to do, you could put a leg up on the tub, or you could just spread your cheeks a little bit and just get up in there with the soap. You got a crack. You could get your whole hand between your crack. Nobody's saying you got to do somersaults. You got to put your feet and shit behind your damn head. Nobody said you had to do fucking yoga moves to go and wipe your ass. It is not that hard. What is wrong with people? You know what? We are doomed as a motherfucking species. I swear before Jesus.
One, I don't use a washcloth. I have a certain bar of soap just for my bottom part.
Okay.
No, listen. So before I even put that bar of soap, I have to bend over to just rinse out whatever's in there before I even put my hand down there.
Okay.
But it feels weird having to touch your toes and just let the water, because I can't detach myself.
First of all, ain't nobody doing that. Ain't nobody bending over, bro.
His ass.
And what kind of soap do you have just for your ass? Why are y'all putting bars of soap in your boogie?
Yo.
If you are putting bars of soap in your ass, there's only one brand of soap that can be used if you sticking it up your bunkie.
What is it?
Zest. Zest is the only one that would be appropriate for that, because I don't understand why y'all taking the whole bars of soap and sticking it in your ass.
Zest is crazy.
Why are you putting the whole bars of soap in your ass? Like, you don't know.
Yeah.
Put the lather on the towel.
Yeah.
Wipe your ass. Once again, I use 3 washcloths. One for my face, one for my body, one for my ass in private.
All right. Well, when we come
Y'all
back,
don't take washing serious enough for me.
Did you wash your ass today?
Well, first of all, who uses washcloths? I mean, don't y'all got like the, what do you call them, the little loofah situations? I got one that my sister went and gave me one. She gave me like one of these that has like a string on the end, and you could stretch it and you get your back and all that other stuff. That's what I got. These people are so goddamn stupid. Did you see Charlamagne bald ass crown ATL for a video from 2 years ago that's only now resurfacing? He was violated in prison. There was something I was what was I? I was watching a video the other day, and I'm like, wait, ain't this shit old? Why is this resurfacing? Yeah, people got a bidet. I'm like, well, that's for like the toilet and stuff. Like if you, instead of using toilet paper. Does this mean Ariana earns legendary status after this tour is done? I'm sure she'll come back to music in the 2030s when the Gen Z divas are solidified and Gen Alpha is starting to pop out. I would think she's a legend at this point. She ain't an icon, but she a little legend. She legendary. Did you like the one video with Gen Z gays are honest to admit, unlike Grace Jones and Madonna, what's really iconic about the fashion or the imagery of Lady Gaga and Kesha is the major influence on the club of dirty pop stars? Well, I mean, yeah, well, Kesha does it. I definitely think that Kesha has pop daughters. When you look at it, like Charlie XCX, Slater, all of them kind of follow in that category. Maybe Aisha Erotica, we could put her up in there too. But all of that stems from Peaches is the mother and who kind of birthed all of these girls. And Kesha basically took it to the mainstream, but a lot of what these girls out here doing with the electronic and the rock and all other stuff, Peaches started doing that in the whole electro clash scene. People think that if you're a I was like, what is that? Oh, yeah, they are a goofball. Anything that is hygienic, they label it as fruity. Are men supposed to be walking around? I guess so. Y'all think that y'all really think that y'all girl want to be sucking y'all penis and smelling funky ass crack, seeing dingleberries or smear or skid marks in your drawer? Y'all really think that women find that shit attractive? They don't. You know, the women talks to they homosexual besties about y'all. And y'all are nasty. And I'd be damned if some gay boy come up and be doing the same damn thing. I don't know where this stems from that men think that washing your behind is dirty. And the worst part is, y'all really be thinking y'all eating, going on social media and speaking about this like it's a great thing to be talking about. It's embarrassing. Like you don't realize that you looking like a damn fool coming up on here openly admitting you don't clean your ass properly. Didn't Ray J say some mess about that? The reason why he wear black drawers because he gives skin marks. Like I can only imagine what y'all dick balls and ass smell like. Like there ain't nothing cute about any of this. But what do I know? I'm good. I do know I don't stink. You ain't never gonna smell me. Like I said, female waxers have also complained that women don't wipe their backsides very well either. Well, look, I guess it is a straight thing, because look, it ain't just the back they ain't wiping properly either. They ain't wiping they Venus flytrap properly either, which is why they're getting UTIs and yeast infections and all of that mess. Because can you imagine? I'm down there waxing your puss and I'm smelling a full-on tuna salad. Don't know why they want to be smelling that. It's like, bitch, take your ass to the doctor. Anyway, let's move on. Enough about hygiene. I just want to play that video in case y'all didn't see it. Because I was like, ooh, that'd be a cute one to post up here. But anyway, let's move on and get to our next topic. And let's talk about this Children of Blood and Bone movie. So, child, let me tell you, I didn't even hear about this book, and I didn't even know this was a book until I started hearing all this drama surrounding this damn movie. So, Tony Adeyemi, I think it was maybe like last month, came out and revealed something or another that she basically was distancing herself from this this film adaptation of her book, because apparently there was some stuff going on behind the scenes that she didn't really want to speak on. How it all started was fans of her started noticing that she would, because I guess in the beginning when all of this was happening, she was out here heavily promoting it on her social media and stuff. Then her fans started noticing that she was promoting it less and less, to which they brought it up, and I guess they were tagging her and all this other stuff on social media, and she finally addressed it and was something that she doesn't want to associate herself with the film because of some gaslighting or some drama going on behind the scenes. And I guess she had took issues with Amanda Stenberg, and it was a whole bunch of other stuff. Left it vague. I still don't know what the hell's going on. And when I watched this recent TikTok video that came about it, because I guess now the trailer's out, she spoke about it again. About a bunch of nothing for 5 minutes. And this is what I got to say on y'all about this. And anybody in this, because you drag race bitches be doing this too. If y'all not gonna come out here and spill tea on what's going on behind the scenes on projects that y'all not happy about, then shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear it. It's no shade. I don't want to hear nothing that's going on between y'all if y'all not going to come out and address the elephant in the room. You can't go up here and say, I don't want nothing to do with these people, Paramount, whoever, who ruined my book for the big screen, because quiet as it's kept, it looked like a cross between The Woman King and Black Panther. It looked like a straight up rip off of that. The special effects don't look that appetizing. What the hell happened with Gina Prince Bythewood? Because she's the one that directed this. She was making a lot of stinkers lately, because I think the last movie I saw that she made, which was not very good, was The Old Guard. It had its moments, but it wasn't necessarily, and that went straight to Netflix. Maybe she made some other movies in that other time. I don't know. But let's get into the story. But I would say, like, yeah, if y'all not gonna come out and if you're gonna say some vague stuff without telling us the full tea, then be quiet. So Tomi Adeyemi, author of the novel Children in Blood and Bone, said the upcoming Paramount film adaptation of her book was the worst thing I've ever had to live through, and I never want to hear about the project again, in a 5-minute video posted on Wednesday. Adeyemi, who co-wrote the screenplay for the film, had previously spoken about how she wouldn't watch the Children of Blood and Bone movie based on her African fantasy novel after being on set for its production. Saying, quote, "What I'm about to share is not a secret to the people involved," she said in the social media clip. "It's a reality that I've had to live with for about a year and a half, and everyone involved, at least at the highest level, has been aware of this reality, and they haven't done anything to make it better. If anything, they've only antagonized me, and I accept that. But I also accept if I don't say something, I think it's just going to be worse. But I also accept if I don't say something, I think it's going to be worse." So it's like, if I say something, it's not going to help the situation because they keep antagonizing me. But if I don't say something, it's just going to be worse. So say something. Because at this point, most people, when they have bad experiences from their books being adapted to the cinema, they don't go on social media and start talking shit about the studio. Because here's the thing. Hollywood is a small town. I'm not saying that you need to sit in your hands and be quiet. Well, maybe that would be the smart thing, because then what if you work with a studio that actually takes a book of one of your books and adapts it, and you become as big as J.K. Rowling? I'm not saying you got to be a turf like that crazy ass long jawed bitch is, but if you become as big as J.K. Rowling, then you get to have the power to steer your stuff the way you want to steer it. Which is why a lot of times people play the game, because they see the light at the end of the tunnel and the long game, which is, oh, so the success and the money and all that other stuff. Now I have complete autonomy over my work, and I get to have a say so in what I want to do. Or maybe it'll be different because you're black and a woman, and JK is a white mannish looking woman. So I don't know what the politics and all that other stuff would be in your case, but I do feel like you speaking out about this, you pretty much burned the bridge. Meaning that now that you said what you said about Paramount, no studio is going to want to work with you, because if they have a bad experience here, you going to run it up on social media to my you had a horrible experience. There's a lot of crazy stuff that goes on in Hollywood. People just truck on, do what they got to do because they see the bigger picture. I'm going to make all my coins, and then I get that power, and then I get to, be able to do what I need to do at the end of the day and have that control. So she also alleged that she left the Children of Blood and Bone set hyperventilating and sobbing, and that she is still being antagonized behind the scenes. Reps for Adeyemi, Paramount, and director Gina Prince Bythewood did not immediately respond to Variety's request for comment, because that's where I got the story from. Now, they also went on and said, "I'm not going to speak on what I've endured to make it through the young adult trilogy, and I'm not going to speak about everything that I also suffered through or endured to make the adaptation a reality. I'm actually only going to speak about what happened after I left that set on my own film adaptation, hyperventilating and sobbing." So what caused the hyperventilating and sobbing? Who were the people that were bullying you? Who were the people that were antagonizing you? Name them, in the words of my girl Sutton Strack over there on Beverly Hills Housewives. Name them. She didn't do that. She spent 5 minutes taking her sweet ass time, taking long, deep ass breaths, never getting to the damn point, and I got annoyed. Now, I'm not going to take away what these people did behind the scenes, because there are some evil ass MFers that work in this business that do all kinds of things to make people's lives live in hell. I'm not going to sit up here and discount your feelings, because your feelings are valid. So they say. But like I've said many a times over, You can't get on social media and start saying, these people put me through hell. I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is they did, but just believe that they did these things to me and don't go, and I'm not supporting the movie. I need to know the reason. Because, I mean, quiet as it's kept, when I saw the trailer, I was just not, I was not overly enthused. I'm just like, okay. I can see why they're dumping it in January. Same thing I said about that Jumanji trailer. That new Jumanji trailer, like straight up ass. I'm like, who greenlit this? The movie looks terrible. But quiet as it's kept, the only one that I thought was halfway decent was the first Jumanji movie. And this ain't about Jumanji. I'm just equating because I've seen 2 trailers this week that I wasn't overly enthused by. Now, but as it's being marketed, she said, referencing to the trailer, which landed on Tuesday, and as I'm still being antagonized behind the scenes, which is where I hoped all of this would stay, it's become apparent to me that reality needs to at least be made known so that you guys can understand how this film, which I worked on to make it a little better for us to be alive, is also the worst thing I've ever had to live through. Earlier this month, in a since deleted TikTok video, Adeyemi posted what appeared to be a group chat that included Children of Blood and Bone actor Amanda Stenberg. Adeyemi wrote, "Do not ever use my name in an interview or video again. Do not text me, do not call me," and appeared to block Stenberg, according to the LA Times. Stenberg had previously perceived backlash from book fans over her casting as Princess Amari due to allegations of colorism. But here's the thing. Is she playing the lead? I mean, is Princess Amari the lead? I don't know. I didn't read the books. Like I told you, I didn't know nothing about these damn books until I heard the controversy surrounding this movie. But based on the trailer, Amanda is barely in the trailer. They got some little dark-skinned child with a white wig on who look like she's supposed to be the lead. I don't know where y'all getting Amanda as the lead. Because this seemed like the little dark-skinned girl, I don't know her name because it's not up in here. And I didn't look it up. But the girl seemed like she was the lead. And Amanda is probably playing, it looked like she's playing a secondary character or something in the film. You see a lot of Viola Davis. You see Regina King, and you see Damson Idris. Maybe that's why he didn't get the part of Black Panther, because he was in this movie. And that wig he had on, that was a choice. So maybe that was the reason why Damson ain't in the thing. And Damson wasn't really giving nothing in regards to the acting. And y'all keep thinking, oh, he would have been a perfect Black. He good looking, tall, looked like he could definitely pull up playing Batman, but I don't think he got the range that Ryan Coogler is requiring for him to pull off playing Black Panther. And trust and believe, when David Johnson ends up, y'all see him as Black Panther, y'all gonna be eating y'all words. Trust and believe. Like y'all was when Heath Ledger got a cast as the damn Joker. Y'all still eating y'all words over that. Now, she said that I am 4 months into training for Children in Blood and Bone, and I'm getting my ass whooped. This was Stenberg previously said in a deleted TikTok video last year. I want everyone to know that this is important to me, and I think about it with every choice that I make. I would never navigate my career blindly, not thinking about my skin tone or the space I occupy. I would never go after a role I didn't feel was right for me. I want to see all skin tones represented in media. I know that colorism is an insidious system that relentlessly impacts every facet of entertainment. Despite the insinuation about a feud with Stenberg, Adeyemi has not clarified what happened on Child. She ain't clarified the first TikTok video she took down, and she ain't clarified what happened in this one. But now she said, I don't wish to speak on it anymore. I don't know if that's possible. This is what she said in the clip posted on Wednesday. I understand that I have a public presence and that this is a global project. It's probably useless posting a video. I really don't know. I don't do things like this, but I also understand that being silent about it is making the pain a lot worse. And even though it feels awful to share this, it's better to share it and have it known and understood before I see a bunch of you for this new book. So please understand, I never want to hear about this project again. I don't have anything to say about the people who made it. I do not care anymore. I'm trying to move on. This video might make it worse, but I don't know how it could be any worse. So I'm just going to share that and let it live. Well, here's the thing. If you're talking about the video might make it worse, what do you have to lose, sis? Spill all of it. That's what I said. Spill the tea. You said you gave us basically a nothing burger on motherfucking rye. That's basically what you gave us. Nothing. I didn't learn nothing from this. All I know is there was drama behind the scenes, as there is on many a movie. You did not have a great time putting together, like working on this film, which is, I think, a dream for any writer to have their work represented on the big screen. But you gave us a bunch of nothing. So we didn't learn nothing. So when January 15 rolls around, y'all decide whether or not y'all want to go see that movie. And I guess put that, in the words of Vivica Fox, put that where? Back there. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Will y'all be going to see Children of Blood and Bone? Have you read the books? What do you think about all the controversy, what we can pull from it regarding this film and the drama going on with the film? So whatever your thoughts, and did you see the trailer, what you thought about the trailer, all that good stuff. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Damn, I opened the wrong damn file. Hold on. Oh, I did not think any of y'all would have. I was like, oh, I see a lot of people was seems interested to want to talk about this topic. I remember this lady was talking about seeing these wet brown spots on her after sleeping with her man. She realized it was the ew. That is nasty. You're supposed to wipe from front to back. That's actually how I wipe. Whenever because I use dude wipes as well. Child, I need a dude wipe representation over here. Can y'all come sponsor this show? Because I use y'all. I get it from Amazon every 2 months. I get a box sent to me in the mail. Clip this. It's like I need a dude wipe sponsorship. And yeah, you wipe from front, you wipe from the front where the taint is to the back and then it be clean. Cause I use tissue and I use butt wipes. So it's like you use the tissue, all this stuff, and then I use the butt wipes, flush, then I'll be doing it again because I don't want my pipes to get all clogged up. So I'll be flushing my toilet quite a few times. So that way I'll be like, that tissue going down, the wipes going down, and hopefully it's just was going through the tunnel and it don't mess up my pipes, because they say that they're all flushable, but everybody do be saying that when you use like butt wipes or whatever the case is, that they do damage your pipes. So that is how you're supposed to wipe. I don't know. I just don't understand how people don't probably know how to clean themselves. Anyway, that Charlie XCX interview, I do praise her and applaud her. She reminds people that while the Brat album and era was successful, I can admit and ask for an album so successful, where's the hits? I can't do hit songs, but I can, but it's my worst material. Well, first of all, it's funny how like, how do you make a hit? I don't think anybody really knows how to make a hit. All you know is you make music that's good for you, unless it's some paint my numbers, whatever, that they do or whatever. But I think that a lot of times, and artists will say this all the time, they'll like a song and think that it's a hit, and it's always a song that are like, really? Y'all like that song? This is what y'all consider a huge hit? Okay, I'll go along with it. It's making me coins. So I'll get up there and I'll perform it. It's kind of like when Madonna be talking about Like a Virgin. Y'all be loving Like a Virgin and all that other stuff. But she's like, I'm not going, or Material Girl. Big hits. But it's like, I won't be able to sing no damn Material Girl. The industry finally accepted me that I'm not meant to have hits. You need my album to get. Well, I think because Charlie's at a point where every record she's always transformed herself into different characters, and she's evolved as like reinvented herself. So at this point, it's like she can get out there and perform on stage, and she'll definitely have a loyal fan base that'll come support her music and see her live. If it's worth your while, say something. It says, so long story short, the book is always better than, well, pretty much, because isn't that how it usually is? I mean, when it comes down to it, the books will always be better than the movie. Children of Blood and Bone is a series of books. We need to see more fantasy novels with Black characters. This is huge, but because she came out with her statement, it might deter people from seeing the movie. And yeah, even though you may not have had a great time with this experience, I do agree with you that I feel like, because you know how Hollywood is, Hollywood will think because of what Paramount did with this movie, and Paramount probably just fucked up the film and was interfering, giving unnecessary notes instead of them making the movie that they wanted to make, especially with the writer being a co-writer on the screenplay. When you got all these studio interference, because when they give you money, sometimes that happens. What's gonna happen is if this movie flops, they're gonna believe there's no audience that wants to see sci-fi fantasy from Black people. So they'll stop making them. Because that's what they go by. They go by, oh, this didn't work. Let's move on. And they take no prisoners, especially when it comes to people of color. White people can go and make a movie, it could bomb, and they can continue to do the thing over and over and over again. They get chance after chance after chance. Not us who are considered other. So on one point, even if the movie is not that good, I hope it does well. But because she's come out and thrown the shade that she's thrown, this might prevent future fantasy novels turn cinematic films from happening. Black Love said he gonna read the books. She was going to bat for Amanda not too long ago, so it's not about her complexion. I'm like, well, girl, what is it about? Because we want to know. You already put us in the group chat. People said Damson can't be Black Panther because he wore a Damson, I believe, didn't get to play Black Panther is because of money. David Johnson, yeah, I agree. David Johnson is a much better actor. And if people call him ugly, your mother should have swallowed. That's all I'll say on that. I'm not mad at Amanda because that's a job, but she definitely does not mind playing a character that was written as dark skin. This is like her third time doing that. Ooh. The author is giving tick tick boom. Not tick tick boom, child. They said, yeah, I throw the wipes away, not playing with my plumbing. Unfortunately, this led to me finding out. Oh my Jesus! And you know what? Because and I have had situations where I've had ant infestations, so that isn't a good thing to throw it in the toilet. I mean, in the garbage, because then it's like every time you got to throw the garbage bags out or the garbage bags and stuff out. I'm not going to do that every time I take a poop. That's wasting garbage bag. So I guess I'm just gonna have to throw them in the toilet. It is what it is. Because one thing I do not want is I'm going to sit on the toilet and I'm seeing all of a sudden army of ants just like all over my garbage, and then I can literally have to pick up the can, throw it outside, hose it down, and then I got ants crawling all over my skin. No man, Pam. And his song is made by being undeniably catchy and shoved in everyone's face. Madonna's biggest hits are a perfect example. Great songs, but Madonna was clearly trying to appeal to a mainstream audience. David Ellison wanted to flop, so it fits the kill people of color, saying nobody is here for movies with an all-black cast. I don't know. David Ellison's a moron. All of a sudden, speaking of Paramount, did y'all hear? Well, first of all, Adam Aaron, my former boss, that asshole who runs AMC, talking about he wants this merger to go through. I'm like, Adam, nobody likes you at AMC. This is the same idiot that decided to tweet stuff about Taylor Swift's wedding when they all had to sign NDAs, and then he took it down. He's a dick. He's an idiot. I always thought he was like, AMC went downhill when he started running it. Yeah, there's been a resurgence, and the movie's been making money and all this other stuff, and I love A-List. He's an idiot. But did y'all also hear that Paramount is making a Clueless TV series where basically Cher is basically clueless about motherhood, so that's kind of like the direction they're going into. It was going to be on Peacock. Peacock killed it. I guess they couldn't make it work, but now Paramount picked it up, and I guess it's good because Paramount basically produced the original movie. Whatever happened to that cute boy that played Christian that we found out was a homosexual? What he up to? Speaking of which, I hope he don't. Well, look, if he was, because remember he was fine as hell, but then when you look at him today, he look a mess. That would kill the fantasy if he ain't hold up, like if his looks didn't hold up. It's kind of like I just saw a recent picture of Jonathan Taylor Thomas because he came out of hiding. Him and Taryn Noah Smith, who y'all know played the two sons, because it was three of them. The other one's in jail, Zachary Ty Bryan. But the two sons from Home Improvement took a picture with Patricia Richardson. No comment about how Jonathan Taylor Thomas looked, but y'all can look them pictures up on social media. Anyway, he killed the Running Man because it had anti-tech and MAGA. Well, here's the thing. Half of the Running Man was good. The third act was a mess. So It wasn't a good movie. Kudos to Master of the Universe becoming a hit, finally proving that what you said, it was going to get the audience when it hit streaming, because it was everything people wanted, a He-Man movie. I guess you meant to be. Yeah, because I said that who's the He-Man audience for? The over 45 crowd is not going to the movie. I mean, they'll go see the Odyssey, I guess. But they're not going to the movies to see He-Man. He-Man should have been a straight. That's why I said, look, the smartest thing I think Amazon Prime's doing it. The smartest thing they did was, well, they told about making a G.I. Joe movie. That needs to go straight to streaming too, no shade. But they're doing a RoboCop series. That's going straight to streaming. I said that's smart, because I don't know an audience that's going to go spend money to go see RoboCop in the theater. RoboCop, I feel like today, especially with AI and all the other stuff going on, I definitely think an 8-part series where you can get to know the characters and seeing the RoboCop do his thing with the action and stuff, it will work so much better as a TV show. The guy that played Christian is married to... It's the next topic. Well, I wasn't expecting him to be a homosexual in real life. That he married to a woman, we don't care about her. Anyway, speaking of somebody who need to be kept as far away from women as possible, underage, above age, and anybody in between with a coochie. Let's talk about Jared Leto. So yesterday, there was a huge story that came out from all the trades about Jared Leto being accused of criminal sexual misconduct, because apparently the BBC, and we're not talking about a big black cop, which the black men don't like when y'all call it that. No, we don't. So, because it comes across as very fetishy. But anyway, the BBC apparently did a documentary interviewing women who said that Jared Leto did some unconscionable things to them years ago, which I will say he has denied. But I also did some digging, because Page Six done exposed some things too. And I was like, child, we're going to talk about it on this show, The Dark Side of Jared Leto. But people always say that Jared is a weirdo. Like, y'all always heard about the weird stuff he be doing behind the scenes, where he tries to be all methody or whatever. And I do agree with Robert Pattinson, where he said that he don't understand the whole method acting thing, because he feels like a lot of people who do the whole method acting pretty much use it as an excuse to be an asshole. And he was saying this while doing the Actors on Actors with Jennifer Lopez, of all people. And I was like, because we've heard about her and how she be acting. She's like, oh, you're funny. You're really funny. I'm like, is this a sign of a hit dog hollering? Like, are we trying to say that this is Hannah for doing some of them things behind the scenes? But anyway, this is not about them. But I do agree with Robert Pattinson when he said, like, the whole method acting thing. It's just like you being a dick. Because what was it? When he was playing the Joker, and I think, what's her name? Viola Davis was talking about that he was leaving dead rats and all this other weird stuff on the set. First of all, you do some shit like that, I'm punching you in your face. I don't care. Y'all gonna have to fire me and charge me with assault. But I don't play no stupid prank games like that. And these actors always think that makes them come across as really cool. No, it makes you look weird. So in a new BBC documentary, Jared Leto, Hollywood's Dark Secret, which aired yesterday, that would be Wednesday. I hope we get it over here in the US, by the way. A total of 10 women came forward with allegations against the actor and musician, 9 of whom the BBC says are sharing their stories for the first time. One of the women accuses the Oscar winner of assaulting her in a motel bathroom when she was 17. Another claims Leto threatened her with SA when she was 19. A third in the doc describes how she allegedly had relations with Leto in California when she was 17 under the age of consent, which therefore will be classified as statutory R word. She claims the actor shrugged off a conversation about the age of consent being 18 in the state. Meanwhile, a fourth woman alleges Leto made repeatedly sexually explicit phone calls to her when she was 16, and on at least one occasion, he suggested that they should do some things of a sexual nature. I'm trying to find ways of trying to change up these, because them YouTube algorithms. And also, damn, I forgot who it was. There was some old tweet resurfaced in regards to someone who I think was talking about, there was a creep factor regarding Jared Leto. I should have wrote it down because off the top of my head, I can't remember who it was. Now, in the doc, the BBC says it has seen an NDA that the fourth woman was asked to sign to stop her from discussing her relationship with Leto. She refused to sign the NDA. She probably kept a copy of it. Now, 4 other women accused Leto of making strange and often very sexual phone calls to them when they were younger. Another woman claims Leto signed an autograph over her breast when she was only 14 years old and commented that she had a nice rack, while another claimed that Leto had sex with her when she was 17 in California, where the age of consent is 18. Now, under state law, this would constitute statutory R word. Now, another woman said she didn't think there was many words exchanged, and he opened the shower curtain and started kissing me inside a motel room, with the BBC further reporting that she alleged Leto then grabbed her hand and used it to masturbate himself. Now, all the women that featured in Jared Leto Hollywood's Dark Secret claim the interactions occurred between 2002 and 2006, when the actor, now 54, was in his 30s and 40s. One of the victims, alleged victims, I should say, said this was 25 years ago. He has gotten away with it. According to the BBC, it has corroborated a number of the women's accounts with friends and family who were told about the encounters with Leto at the time. It says that in some cases, it has also seen pictures and messages that support the women's accounts. 2 men who worked with Leto's band 30 Seconds to Mars also spoke to the documentary and claimed staff felt uncomfortable about the way Leto would interact with teenage girls. They alleged he would sometimes invite them backstage to his dressing room or to the house where he was recording, saying, quote, "I think everyone thought the age gap was way too big. And you already know when it comes to Hollywood, everybody want to keep their job. So they go along to get along and they look the other way. But now that we still in this whole hoveration of the B2, time's up, whatever the case is, now we exposing people's tea. Spilling people's tea. Now, the allegations in Jared Leto Hollywood's Dark Secret aren't the first against Leto. Last year, LA DJ Ali Tiles, I think is how you say their name, publicly accused Leto of sexual misconduct, alleging he assaulted and traumatized her when she was 17 years old. It prompted others to come forward with similar claims. In a report in Airmail on June of 2025, 9 women accused Leto of engaging in inappropriate behavior over the years, accusations he denied. Now, I will say this, and now spilling all of this, he has responded to the allegations of criminal sexual misconduct, sexual conduct, I should say, leveled against him by several women in the doc, declaring them to be categorically false, saying, "I have never SA'd anyone in my entire life." All right, Bill Clinton. "I never had sexual relations with that woman." Mind you, there's a whole stain on a blue dress that says otherwise. Now, this is what he said in a statement obtained by Entertainment Weekly. "These claims are absolutely and categorically false." So there you have it on that front. He says, "I didn't do it." Now, do you believe him? I don't. I do think, I mean, look, Jared Leto, I've always felt like, I don't know what he's been taking because the man is 50-some years old, still look like he in his 30s. So great jeans, great gowns, beautiful gowns, great jeans, all that stuff. He still looks youthful. He's just a little out there with the buses done wrong. And I've always been a fan of Jared Leto. I loved him in Urban Legend. I liked him when he got his ass beat in Fight Club. I liked him when he was the criminal in Panic Room, where he had the cornrows, and you had 2 lesbians up in that movie. You had Jodie Foster and Kristen Stewart, who played a daughter. I liked him when he was on My So-Called Life. So Jared Leto has always been like one of those really good actors, whatever. It's just that with all of this going around, it's just sad that, yeah, all of this is out. And it kind of makes me wonder because he's been in so many movies that have flopped. Tron, what was the last one? Tron, Ares didn't flop. No, it flopped at the box office. He was Skeletor, even though he was good as Skeletor, and he in the new Masters of the Universe movie bombed. So I think that Hollywood kind of needs to stay away from him. I hope he saved his coins. Maybe, you know what? Just stick to the music. Leave the acting alone, because Hollywood don't seem like they want to fuck with you anymore. Stick to the music. You still got a couple of thousands of fans out there that like supporting that music. I could never get into 30 Seconds of Mars. I just felt like the music just came across as way too pretentious. So the music, it was always a chop to me. But the acting was like where it resided. But it just seemed like with all this stuff coming, ain't nobody trying to mess with you no more. Now, I did also come across another story where it was some of the dark truth behind working with horrible Jared Leto. And this was from Page Six. They said that, well, I guess it's similar to what Grace Jones said about Lady Gaga, no soul behind his eyes. So Jared Leto is allegedly horrible to work with behind the scenes, according to a former colleague. This person said he's not a good guy. There's no soul behind his eyes. An insider who once toured with the 30 Seconds to Mars frontman exclusively told Page Six on Wednesday, following the release of the explosive BBC documentary, Jared Leto, Hollywood's Dark Secret, saying he was a horrible vibe when working with him, and he made people uncomfortable. It was really hard to talk to him, if he even tried to talk to us. Now, the source alleged that Leto has also had several extreme requests for his crew members, like asking assistants to hold open doors and his cape for him, tasks that one could easily do themselves. People who have known him for years have also said that he was very problematic with women. The insider added, everyone in the music industry knows there was going to be a day of reckoning for him. Well, it was always a matter of when it was going to happen. Now, earlier Wednesday, Page Six reported that Leto, 54, was accused of sexual misconduct by 10 women who came forward, blah, 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 so on and so forth. So we don't need to go into that whole situation with the denial and him with these damn capes or whatever. It's like, okay, girl, you're doing too much. Now, they said the Jared Leto Hollywood's Dark Secret documentary released Wednesday includes various shocking statements from the accusers, including a claim from Isabel, because her name is in quotes, that Leto allegedly assaulted her in a motel room in 2002 when she was 17. Clara alleged she had intercourse with Leto when she was 17, while Alex accused the Oscar winner of allegedly threatening to SA her when they were in a hotel room in 2013. She claimed the suicides. Oh, and then they said Etta also spoke out in the documentary, claiming Leto allegedly groomed her when she was 16. She claimed the Suicide Squad star made several explicit phone calls to her in 2014 before trying to get her to sign an NDA 2 years later, which she refused. We already talked about that, but now we have names to the girls who have made these accusations. And then that ain't even a half of it, child. So there was another story that I came across, courtesy of Page Six, where they was talking about, look, did y'all know that Jared Leto had a little cult once upon a time? So let's get to that, because, you know, with him with this hair and his little outfits and everything, I swear this child think he Jesus. Well, you know, white Jesus. So years before Jared Leto's SA scandal, which has culminated in 4 women accusing the Oscar winner of sexual improprieties while they were teens in a new BBC documentary, he was also accused of headlining a seeming cult. Yeah, he thought he was Jim Jones' chair. 7 years ago, in August of 2020, or as Barbara Walters would say, 2020, the 30 Seconds to Mars frontman headed up a wellness retreat at Mars Island. Well, we should say wellness retreat, ostensibly for members of his band's fan base, which is dubbed the Echelon, on the private, uninhabited island of Obanjan, Croatia. I was going to take my time trying to spell that out. At the alcohol-free retreat, attendees were said to have swam, sunbathed, walked on the beach, and engaged in yoga, all while celebrating their regard for the Dallas Buyers Club actor and his band. But according to, they said Airmail. Is this the Daily Mail? I was like, what is Airmail? I've never even heard of y'all. But anyway, they said, but according to Airmail, which in 2025 published the accounts of sexual improprieties allegedly committed by Leto toward 9 women, all of which he denied, the mostly female attendees also meditated, chanted, and lounged barefoot in caftans alongside Leto. Yeah, he was walking around as you can see, in caftans too. Like he's who are you trying to be, Lady Bunny? Now, though the House of Gucci stars band called it a spiritual retreat, the overall vibe of the festival drew widespread comparisons. Yeah, it's definitely giving cult, child. Because there's one picture I'm looking at of like the back of his head. He got his hands up, and everybody's in all white with their hands up. It is definitely giving cult. Back in 2019. Speculation reached a high after the Suicide Squad star, say that 10 times fast, now 54, was spotted in a photo standing on a cliff with his arms raised, his fans standing below him with their arm also outstretched. Other images shared to social media show fans wearing white while sitting on the floor, listening to Leto, seated on a stool, speak to them. Yes, this is a cult. A 2019 tweet posted about 30 seconds to Mars read, adding the hashtag Mars Island. In multiple images, both Leto and his fans wore white as they navigated the immense 3-day retreat, which is said to have cost people paid $6,499 to attend this foolishness. Fix it, Jesus. Anyway, now you need to hashtag that. Hashtag Fix it, Jesus. Now, prior to Mars Island, 30 Seconds to Mars also launched an adults-only event in Malibu, California in 2015, dubbed Camp Mars, a weekend fan retreat filled with campfires, archery, hiking, and music that culminated in nightly Church of Mars concerts. He also had on, I noticed like another picture I'm looking at, he had on a sweatsuit where it looked like he got on a lady's sun hat, and you saw that long hair, and it says on the back of the jacket of the jumpsuit saying this is a cult. In fact, Leto was spotted in an image seemingly taken at Mars Island in 2019 wearing a shirt reading this is a cult on the back. Well, they said a shirt, it was a jacket. When Airmail published their stunning article in June of 2025, they titled it The Cult of Leto, drawing on L'Officiel's previously published 2024 article entitled The Cult of Jared Leto. Page Six reached out to a rep regarding the ongoing speculation on Leto's cult following, but did not immediately hear back. Now, interest in the Mars events and alleged cult following has resurfaced amid news that the Blade Runner 2049 star, and that movie was good too, but it flopped, has been accused by, well, multiple women we already did, including the pseudonyms Clara Isabel Alex and Etta of misconduct and when they were teenagers in a new BBC documentary. We don't need to go through that because it's pretty much, it was all, we already talked about that. Leto denied wrongdoing in a not a strongly worded statement, was about as strongly worded as them letters that Chuck Schumer, Quasimodo looking ass be putting out there on Wednesday, calling the allegations absolutely and categorically false, and saying he has never SA'd anyone in his entire life. Amid the news, a resurfaced interview from 2016 showed the My So-Called Life star admitting to sending used condoms and anal beads to co-stars, including Margot Robbie and Will Smith, in line with his character of the Joker. I don't know what the hell anal beads got to do with the Joker. I mean, unless you're going to be putting it in my ass and pulling it out while we hunching, that should be the only reason why you should be sending me any kind of anal beads. But even then, we're co-workers. There needs to be a sense of what's appropriate and what's inappropriate, what you're supposed to be doing with people at work. I know, like, being in Hollywood is not a cubicle job where, yeah, there's rules and stuff put in place on harassment and this, that, and the other, but actors also need to be protected from other actors and their behavior. He said, I did a lot of things to create a dynamic, he told E! News in 2016, to create an element of surprise, spontaneity. Well, you do that when we hit action, we hit our marks, and we say our lines. I don't need you to come up in here and create these false elements of surprise and moods and energies because you need to get in the character. Figure out something else. To me, that's some insecure ass shit that you doing. Oh, well, I did all that because I wanted to create an atmosphere. Bitch, you were not a damn painter. You're not Monet. Nobody asked you to create an atmosphere and to really break down any walls that may be there. I mean, the Joker is somebody who doesn't really respect things like personal space and boundaries. Well, you're not the Joker, sir. You're Jared Leto playing the Joker. I swear before Jesus, these actors, y'all be getting on my goddamn root canal nerve. So yeah, that's the latest on all of this right now. He has denied any wrongdoing. Now, the question is, if y'all believe him, that is to be determined. But with all this stuff coming out over the years and multiple women saying that he did some things to him and BBC saying that they have enough evidence to corroborate these women's stories, they've seen the NDAs, they've seen the text exchanges, they've seen things that he's done that's inappropriate, saying that I've never done this stuff or whatever. But if these people saying that they've seen the evidence, then who are you going to believe? I don't think the BBC, a reputable, you know, media company, because I'm trying to figure out what would be the appropriate word. A well-known media conglomerate would just be pulling an actor. But you know what? Feel like accusing Jared Leto of sexually assaulting multiple women. Because I just feel like pulling the name out of a hat and saying that he did this. Like, who does that? There, we still have, even though legacy media do, y'all, it's hard for me to get on board with a lot of y'all because of how y'all been acting lately, especially under this current regime we're in. And I'm talking about American media. But the international media is kind of falling into that too. I would think that there's got to be a smidge of integrity from y'all in regards to this. So I'll definitely keep abreast of this story as it develops. But in the meantime, that's all I got on this. I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you think of all of this regarding, these accusations coming from these women? Have you seen the documentary that aired on the BBC yesterday? And I would love to learn, when are we going to get to see this documentary in the US? Because I definitely would like to see it. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. You say I mean, it could be. That's probably why what do you say? It's playing into the movie flopping. That's probably what it is. Maybe the fandom, they believe it, these accusations. And so that's why every time he's in a movie, it just doesn't do well at the box office. So now he's box office poison. Well, it's funny how she could find the leakers, but anybody else that be up in there hacking and stealing people's personal information and robbing old people of their life savings and stuff, y'all can't find them. But Ariana Grande can find people who's been leaking her personal information. Like, come on. This just goes to show that our government is bullshit. And when you have enough money, power, and resource, you can make anything happen in this world. We've come to learn that. Leakers emails sent to your inbox and is very professionally threatening the leakers to cease and desist or get ready to fight for your freedom and use the internet because it's a privilege and can be taken away. Oh yeah, I see it. It says, "Dear blank," and it said via electronic mail, immediate action required. Republic Records, a division of Universal Music Group, Republic, represents the recording artist Ariana Grande. We have recently become aware that you have uploaded, shared, distributed, or otherwise made available unauthorized copies of Ariana Grande's unreleased album, Petal, the album including, but not limited to, studio recordings, snippets, and artwork, through online platforms and/or live sharing, file sharing services. The album remains the exclusive property of Republic Records and Ariana Grande. It has not been released to the public, and any distribution, reproduction, or dissemination of the album or its contents constitutes a clear violation of our rights under U.S. copyright law, including but not limited to the Copyright Act of 1976, 17 U.S.C. 501, blah, 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 as well as breach of contractual and confidentiality agreements. You are hereby directed to immediately, number one, cease and desist from any or all further distribution, sharing, posting, or broadcasting of Ariana Grande's Petal or any related content. Number two, remove all copies of the album and related material in your possession, custody, or control. And number three, confirm in writing within 48 hours of receiving this notice that you have complied with the above demands. The writing is small, and this is from fucking Reddit. And I'm reading this. Failure to comply with the cease and desist notice may result in immediately legal action, including but not limited to civil litigation seeking statutory and consequential damages, injunctive relief, and recovery of all legal fees without further notice to you. Republic Records and its affiliates will pursue all available remedies to protect the intellectual property rights to our artists. We take the unauthorized leaking of our artist work very seriously. Ariana Grande has poured her heart and soul into Petal, and the premature release of the project not only violates her rights as an artist, but also causes significant harm to her creative vision, her team, and her fans. And this is from Wendy Goldstein, Executive Vice President, Business and Legal Affairs at Republic Records. So she is not playing with y'all hoes out here. I'm like, well, damn. I guess that's how you can find plenty of things out here with what's the word? It's like I guess with these IP addresses and all that stuff. You said Elon was getting ready to drop billions and billions to make sure Republicans, whatever, he needs to go. Y'all need to prevent him from putting any kind of, situation in our interfering with our politics. And the bees, what in the fucking world? He said, but you know how the Smiths get. Child. He is no longer in the union because he couldn't recover from playing the same character, Finding Him Dark, where Jared Leto was made for. Especially when you dark-sided, you definitely can relate to playing the Joker. But nobody really liked his version of the Joker anyway. You said BBC is National Public Service broadcaster. Leto been box office poison child. Okay. The trades and gossip trades have been saying this for years about Jared Leto. You said Jared Leto has never been charged with all these allegations for years. So my thing is this, is like, okay, so now that all of these allegations are out there, because one thing I hate when people say is, why I wait so now to come out with all of this information? Who knows why? I mean, but I know, like, when it comes to people who've been abused, a lot of times there are people that come out and say things and accuse things, and y'all go on them, talking about, oh, you just want to take somebody down and all this other stuff. So you get those people. Then you get people who is like, yeah, they were assaulted, but they don't know how to deal with wanting to speak publicly on it. So they're going through whatever issues that they got going on in their bodies and trying to come to terms with they've been assaulted or abused, whatever the case is. So then they come out years later when they're ready. There should be no expiration date on abuse or when people do harm to you. People come out when they come out. It's like when people come out of the closet when they're ready to come out of the closet. People come out with what their trauma situation, whatever happened to them, whatever traumatic experience happened to them when they're ready to do it. Leakers have nothing better to do for money, but why can't fans be patient? Why is it so hard to wait if it's already scheduled to be released? At least Ariana's getting richer after this. That's why I said I don't understand why people just can't wait. Like, if when we live in a time where people want everything right then and there. And then once you listen to the record, oh, so when's the deluxe? Bitch, can you like salivate and accept what I've given you instead of always wanting more, 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 more? That's why I loved Madonna taking the old school approach to Confessions too. That people were so hungry for that record and wanting things. And it's like, no, you need to build up the anticipation. You need to want desperately to have whatever at your fingertips. And then we finally got it. I feel like people appreciated the music. So it's like, I agree. I feel like people just need to wait for whenever the music is supposed to come out and experience it. But people, we live in a society, in a world of instant gratification. It's slowly coming out now. Some countries have pedaled because it's Friday local time. I think, in my opinion, it also needs to change that to one local time, like a U.S. midnight time or Australian Friday. Yeah, because I know, like, with different time zones, and I've heard people say that they change the time zones on their devices or whatever the case is, just so they can have access to an album around the same time as a certain time zone gets it. So there are people that do that, but I don't know. They need to figure out something. I know, but Renaissance Confessions 2 and now Pedal were leaked days before its release. Was Confessions 2? I mean, well, yeah, it was leaked, but I wasn't listening to it. And I think it's because people had the CD and they were using that and uploading the music. But I was just like, I wasn't listening to. I was like, I was gonna wait. I wasn't even seeking out the leaks and all the other stuff. I said, you know what? I'm gonna wait for the album to come out the day it's supposed to come out. All right, now speaking of music, chair, let's get into yeah, fuck that big back humpback whale looking bitch. Nutmeg McCain for saying Fauci is much worse than Epstein. Oh, you talking about Megan Kelly? Well, fuck Nutmeg McCain, who said that he needs to be in jail, and the other Megan. Anyway, let's move on, y'all. And speaking of music news, let's talk about BTS. So some news came out yesterday that BTS said that they are not submitting their new album, what is it called, Airang, for consideration at the Grammys, which is scheduled to premiere on February 7th, 2027. I do like that number, though. So yeah, their comeback record, they said they're not submitting for the Grammys because they're not liking this upcoming Grammy category, that they decided to all of a sudden pull out their ass, because you already know when it comes to the Grammys, they like moving the goalposts when they don't want certain people to be winning. Just like the whole thing about Beyonce and Cowboy Carter, they decided to all of a sudden create, because she won Album of the Year for that, when quiet as it's kept, she should have won it for Renaissance or her self-titled album, Beyonce. Those have been where she should have got the Grammy. Or Lemonade. Those should have been the time she got Album of the Year. But y'all got playing on her face. So y'all decided to give her a little charity because Joe Campbell got his ass up there the year prior and decided to throw shade at the Grammy Academy, or Grammy voters, whatever the fuck y'all call yourselves, and talk about that his wife deserved this, and this, and then all of a sudden, oh yeah, so let's give it a little charity. Let's give it to Cowboy Carter, which, quiet as it's kept, that album was about as dry as Trump's tresses. So, or that little bee swoop thing that he got going on in his old nasty looking head. So there was that. And so y'all want to decide to move the goalposts in regards to that thing because she won an album based off of a genre of music that white people have been able to colonize and make their own, among other things. Then it feels like this whole foreign thing was created because Bad Bunny is another one who was the first Spanish-speaking musician whose music is not in English, and I love the fact that it's not, won Album of the Year for his record with Debí Te Da Más Fotos. It's like with that record, he won Album of the Year. Now they decided to create a whole new thing where y'all want to segregate the K-pop people because K-pop is blowing up. K-pop is worldwide. K-pop stars like BTS and Blackpink and the rest of them, they're selling out stadiums where a lot of y'all fames can't even sell out the Viper Room. But you are worrying about the fact that now we got to move a damn goalpost. And you know what's worse? Why is it always niggas that be doing the dirty work? So you got Jay-Z over there doing the dirty work for was it the halftime special with Apple? We ain't kneeling no more. We moved beyond kneeling. Says who? You? Fuck you. And then the mess down that he pulling with the freaking Tarjay. We boycotting Tarjay. We ain't taking our coins to Tarjay. And here you go talking about now you want to release a certain variant of your Reasonable Doubt album specifically for Tarjay. Which I've always said, you know what, we love the music and we love what you contributed to hip hop, but that capitalist mogul crap, that's when you start showing your entire ass. Him and that other coon, Pharrell. And so now we have y'all moving the goalposts again. When you got a black man, and we're gonna get into him, the Grammy CEO, Harvey Mason Jr., out here tap dancing for the Grammys with this stupid ass category. So enough of my little rant. Let's get into the actual story. because a lot of y'all might be a little confused as to what's going on. So BTS aren't interested in rounding off their grand comeback album, Airang, with the chance to take home a few golden gramophones. The supergroup will not submit the album for consideration for the 2027 Grammy Awards. Each member revealed through individual Instagram posts, and there's a lot of them, chill. Like, how many posts I gotta read? That's like, what if you ever been to it's like 7 of them. So, have you ever gone to a K-pop show and they go through each and every one of them where they be talking about how much they love the fans and thank you, child? I'll be like, what is this shit over? Y'all been up in here thanking these fans for like 2 hours, and it's like 80 y'all. Y'all all came to say a collective thank you and get the hell off the stage. But that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. So now, yeah, so they said that they did it through individual Instagram story posts on July 29th, which was yesterday, because today is the 30th, saying, quote, "We've decided not to participate in the Grammys this year." This is what BTS shared in a statement translated from Korean. The 7-piece shared their hope that the music can be heard and loved by itself rather than being divided by region or language. BTS has been nominated for 5 Grammy Awards over the past 5 years. Their breakthrough crossover single Dynamite earned them their first nomination for Best Pop Duo/Group Performance in 2020. They were nominated again in the same category for Butter the following year. In November of 2022, just over a month after BTS announced plans for an extended hiatus while each member completed their mandatory military service, they received 3 nominations for the 2023 Grammy Awards, including Album of the Year as featured guests on Coldplay's Music for the Spheres. 3 of BTS' 5 nominations have been in the Best Pop Duo/Group Performance category. Fans have speculated that their withdrawal from consideration for the 2027 award ceremony could be connected to recent category changes at the Recording Academy. Now, in June, 5 new categories were announced, including Best Asian Pop Music Performance. Why I gotta be Asian? It's like, to me, when you look at somebody like BTS is so big. I mean, please, you saw people lost their damn mind when they performed at the little halftime special they just had for soccer. They were hot. They were talking about they was the highlight, even though they pretty much gave you all what they usually give you. But they were the highlight alongside Kanta, even though Madonna's up there for like 3 seconds, and Shakira doing her same old tight ass belly dance and dancing with them childrens, as she always does in every damn show that she does. Child, it's time to upgrade your choreography. But that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. But to me, BTS is so big, they should be in a category of like alongside a Bad Bunny, a Beyonce, a Taylor Swift, and all those girls that get nominated in a Bruno Mars, the same people that they always like to put in the AOTY category. Why are we sitting there segregating them and coming up with wait, where'd it go? Best Asian pop or whatever? Like, what? So they said this category recognizes artistic excellence in Asian pop music performances originating from or widely recognized within Asian markets, including but not limited to K-pop, J-pop, and C-pop, with meaningful use of one or more Asian languages. The description for the new edition reads. Now, in an interview with Grammy.com, Grammy CEO Harvey Mason Jr. described Asian pop music as one of the most significant and sustained forces in the global music industry, adding, with an integrated approach to music, performance, and presentation, Asian pop is distinct in its music identity. Is it? Because first of all, what y'all did take was a lot of Black music and just put an Asian face to it. It's no shade. Now, how y'all gonna sit up in here and you got them talking in English and Korean, or some of them English and Japanese would be the J-pop, or English and Chinese would be the C-pop. But you've taken a lot of that Kandi, Destiny's Child, like the whole like y'all taking it, you've taken a lot of the R&B pop, hip hop styles or whatever, and and with a little electronic music, and you mashed all that up and you put an Asian face on it. So if we're gonna sit up here and try to act like that Asian music don't, I mean, this K-pop stuff don't stem from Black music, we're not gonna do that. The songs that earned BTS Grammys recognition in the past were both smooth disco pop tracks with filler lyrics and far less creative involvement from each member than their earlier releases. With Air Rain, they came back around with a sound that felt more connected to their roots and familiar to earlier listeners. Because with music, you see certain results, right? So I believe that our most beloved songs are our identity. This is what Jin told Rolling Stone in BTS's cover story earlier this year. But not everyone felt that way. So after a lot of discussion, I was convinced by the opinion that our identity is in the music we used to make. Does that automatically assign them to this new Asian pop music category rather than the more general pop categories? We don't have a chance to find out unless they have a change of heart in the future. Now, online entry for the 2027 Grammy Awards open on July 7th and closes on August 21st. First round voting will begin on October 12th with the official announcement of nominees on November 16th. The 2027 Grammy Awards, as I told y'all earlier, will be hosted. I don't know who's hosted it, but it'll happen on 2/7/2027. So that's February 7th. Now, in addition to that, because we were just talking about how they feel about the whole thing, and I'm with y'all on this. So why we gotta come up with all these little categories? I mean, if all these you other J-pop, K-pop, C-poppers want to go and be a part of that, y'all can be a part of that. But if I want to submit my music, I'm submitting it to the major categories. I'm doing record of the year, I'm doing album of the year, I'm doing song of the year, whatever other the big top categories that they have. I'm not doing that Asian pop, whatever. Let the low level bitches do that. No shade, I'm just saying. So yeah, speaking of Harvey Mason Jr., because we had talked about him and the whole Grammy thing and why he came up with this stuff in the first place, he has addressed the Asian pop category backlash after BTS said they won't participate in the upcoming 2027 Grammys. So, hoping to mitigate the situation, Grammy CEO Harvey Mason Jr. took to social media seeking to clarify that the new category was not intended to single out K-pop artists. Now, I do have his full statement. So I guess what we could do is let's go over to the Gram and I could pull that up for y'all so we could all read it as a class. And so, yeah, he said, I'm saddened to hear that BTS has chosen not to participate in the Grammy Awards process this year. But as a music creator, I understand and respect the decision. Someone like Harvey Mason, he came from like making music and all other stuff and then took the CEO job at the Grammys. That's why I was wondering, like, why do you know that name, Harvey Mason Jr.? So they said, I do want to clarify something that seems to be getting lost in the conversation. Well, you do know that English is not their first language. The Asian pop category was created to celebrate the depth, diversity, and extraordinary growth of pop artistry coming out of Asia. The spirit of this new category is to shine a dedicated spotlight on these important artists. More the categories mean more artists' work is recognized, but will it get airtime? That's another question, because we know y'all don't like to air a lot of these specific things either. It's never to divide, but to expand who is recognized by our 15,000 Grammy voters. Well, according to BTS, it feels very divisive. And you, as a person of color, Harvey Mason, you should understand that. What it's like when you have to categorize, you got urban and you got all these other different categories. I also want to be very clear. Submitting music in a genre category such as Asian pop or jazz or country does not exclude an artist from also submitting and being considered in the general field categories, including record of the year, album of the year, and song of the year, which is what I said. I said I wouldn't even be doing the whole Asian thing. Leave that for the low level fruit. I would just be categorizing because if I feel like, but then do you also think with them only wanting to go for record, album, and song, that makes BTS come across like they think they above it all? Those categories remain open to any eligible recording, regardless of genre. Recognition in a genre category and recognition in the general field are not mutually exclusive. An artist can absolutely pursue both. The Grammy organization is here to serve music and all the people who make it. As we continue to expand the reach, our membership in all awards, regardless of geography or language, I want to emphasize that we will continue to listen to the global music community and work to honor and celebrate all the artists whose music moves the world. So that's his statement on the Grammy Instagram page. But at the end of the day, BTS ain't feeling it. They feel like, you're trying to segregate us because that's always kind of been the bitch that's been in a lot of these situations that when people who y'all don't expect to be winning in certain categories win, now all of a sudden we got to create, it's getting so big. So now we got to create this little hub over here and you're segregating them from all these. Why do we have so many goddamn categories? I mean, I understand when you have to make certain categories like record, album, song, and all these other things, but it's too much segregation, and a lot of it don't even get airtime. So in the comment section, it got a little interesting. One person, not living La Vida Loca, child. She said, why not make British pop, American pop, white pop too then? Another person said, if that's the case, why not make a Latin American / British / European / Canadian category too? Did we ever ask where Taylor, Ariana, Olivia are from? Most people don't even think about it. You just don't want BTS outshining your darlings in the major categories. You know it, we know it. So who is this act for? Another person said, how does it feel to be rejected by BTS? Another person said, but why did you delete all BTS performances from your website? Oh, because they're going against the grain. You know what? At the end of the day, who needs these fucking awards? Awards don't mean shit today. These awards don't mean ain't worth the price of tea in China. A lot of these award shows are just vanity projects for a bunch of celebrities to pat each other on the back. BTS has a huge fan base. They're loved worldwide. They selling out stadiums. And if they never went, I don't even know if they won a Grammy because I don't. Who actually remembers who wins the year before? I mean, yeah, I remember Bad Bunny because that was a historical moment. And we already know Beyonce got about 3 dozen in her damn house. But for the most part, who remembers who won the year prior? I don't remember half the people that won. So another person said Latin pop, Asian pop. Now you need Nordic pop, African pop, Australasian, South Pole R&B pop. Another person said music categories should be based on genre: pop, country, rock, R&B, and so on. But Asian music, what does that even mean? Asia is a continent, not a music genre. BTS makes pop music. You can call it K-pop, but at the end of the day, it is still pop. The nationality should not determine which category they belong in. Judge them by their music and let them compete with every other pop artist. They are not asking for a special category. They are BTS. Put them in the main categories where they belong. So everybody pretty much saying the same thing. Why not create American, European, British categories? So they said, like, yeah, if you're gonna single out the Asians, then yeah, create all these other categories. So at the end of the day, Harvey Mason, you tried it with this thing. You sound dumb as fuck. Or you up in here just being the mouthpiece for the Grammy, people. But this is just stupid. And so I don't feel upset at all that BTS decided to pull what they pull. And I wish that there were other musicians that had the balls that he had, or that they have, because there's a bunch of them that they have. And it's like, you know what? We're not just gonna just be like, oh, okay, we'll go on with it. It comes across as racist. And then, of course, you always put the black mascots out there to clean up the mess of the white folks behind the scenes. And he gonna get the bulk of the mess. But who was the one that really came up with this decision to push this forth? All of y'all feet need to be held to the fire. But because Harvey Mason is running things over at the Grammy CEO, they gonna come after you because you're the face. So I guess good luck. I mean, quiet as it's kept, I'll probably just be watching the performances. Well, it depends. I'll be watching who performs at the Grammys. Otherwise, I could care less about who wins these damn awards. I don't really watch award shows for who wins anyway. We all watch it because we want to see who performs and if the performances is worth even talking about. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding BTS saying they're not submitting their comeback album, which people said is their best work in a long time, for a Grammy consideration due to them feeling like this new category created by the Grammy Academy is racist towards the Asian community who want to compete alongside their fellow peers without their ethnicity being called to the forefront. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. It said you pretty much was okay being Me Too because it was business and you were okay getting SA'd, though other women didn't like the rules to get promotion. BTS should be lucky. How many American artists don't even get nominated? You said this shit ain't good. Well, quiet as it's kept. I don't like any K-pop is some of it's all right. It depends. Like some of the songs and stuff is cute, but I've never really been into the whole K-pop. I really don't understand K-pop. Like I've worked a lot of K-pop shows. I've worked stadium shows. I've worked arena shows of a lot of K-pop artists. I don't get it. All I know is their fans are really nice. The fans are cool though. I don't have nobody like if ever came an opportunity for me to work in K, I will work a K-pop show in any over any other show. All the fans are polite, a little weird, but they're polite. They come in, they buy their merch, they barely eat. Which I'm like, sure, y'all should probably spend some money on some water and whatever. They don't drink. They have maybe a couple of them, but majority of them don't buy liquor. They just come to the places to hear their favorite artists, watch them perform, and buy the merch. That's all they care about. So they're a good crowd. They changed the best new artist rules to benefit El Langley, Akaya, and Calgary. They made it a progressive excuse me, they made a progressive R&B category because alternative R&B confuses those old heads and now segregation. As I said, the Grammys, y'all are cooked. Now people admit Joe pardoning Fauci makes sense because he knew they would go for the pitchforks immediately. They can't even arrest because Joe Biden saved him. Gotta save the small brother. You seen the morons that was in my comments about Dr. Fauci? I was like, if you're not following or subscribed to anything on my page, you don't get the comment in my comments. The Grammys are also really weird when it comes to music that isn't the most popular, successful, or culturally relevant. They actually pay dust to the metal, electronic, and country categories. And you barely hear, like, not even just the metal, like rock music in general is just paid dust by them. Country music is having a resurgence, but pre-Trump's second term, it's just Casey Musgraves and Willie Nelson. And funny enough, Casey Musgrave has two shows at the Garden at the end of one. I think one at the end of August, and I think there's one in September. Um. Oh wait, I gotta check my schedule because I know like Casey Musgraves has a show coming up. Specified recognition is good as long as it doesn't bar you from the general categories. Good luck trying to win over everyone else. Mhm. Please, BTS, stay copying off of R&B American music and want to come in and take over everything. I know it's unpopular. I said, well, didn't I say that about what K-pop is? It's basically American R&B and pop music with a with an Asian face. But the Grammys ain't shit. I mean, who's still checking for the Grammys? I mean, I watch it because media. But other than that, it's always boring. A best European pop rock a best European pop rock hip hop category would actually be so cunt. Can you imagine? Hmm. He said Grammys ain't fan voted. I don't think K-pop acts are going to be awarded before the typical winners. Yeah, they get voted on by their peers. But I guess with BTS, they're like, we're just we want to be amongst the peers. We don't want to have our stuff like segregated. Once again, Bad Bunny broke the mold. They can't have that again. As I said, they did it with Beyonce and the whole country music thing when she won for Cowboy Carter. Spanish is far more global than Korean. Y'all not gonna pull a Bad Bunny. Well, that is so true. I mean, if anything, I was listening to reggaeton long before the whole K-pop thing. But reggaeton's been around for like what? Since the late 90s, 2000s, or maybe even further than that. Like I was listening to Tego Calderon, I was listening to Don Omar, I was listening to oh my god, how I forget his name that quick. That came out with Barrio Fino. Daddy Yankee, or they say Daddy Yankee. So I would listen to all of those artists. Evie Queen, Voltio. I remember there was a therapist that worked at my job. He was obsessed with Julio Voltio, and he used to always borrow my CD because he wanted to listen to it. So yeah, I would always let him borrow my CD, and he would listen to it in his office. He was fine too. That's probably why I did it. It's like not polite and a little weird. I mean, they are. And you said, um, no, I said they was polite. I didn't say they wasn't polite. I like J-pop more than K-pop. I'm a fan of the late 2000s or early 2010s pop music out of Asia. As for BTS, Blackpink, Cat's Eye, for me, it's a personal chop. But if you like it, I love it. Yeah, that's what we say on this show. Like, great gowns, beautiful gowns. If you like it, I love it. These records don't mean anything anymore. The Mariah record has been broken how many times in recent years? I haven't even heard the Ella Girl song. Most people haven't. And that's why I think a lot of people are gagging on the fact, like, how did this girl beat Whitney Houston record? And they don't know nothing about this Ella Langley. And look, people said that they hear her in the Tarjay. They hear her on the radio. I don't know. I told y'all the last time I listened to a radio. The last time I listened to a radio was when Wendy Williams was on it. And she was leaving to transition over to doing the Wendy Williams show on TV. That was when I started listening to regular radio. Now I listen to like Sirius XM if I'm in the car. But other than that, like regular radio, I don't listen to the radio. I'm all about streaming. Apple Music. And yeah, I have Spotify, but I barely use Spotify. So there's that. All right, y'all. So now, since we're on the whole music thing, let's get into this debate. So I happened to be on Twitter because I was like, I was looking for these clips to pull up about the whole Jason Lee Tamar situation, and I found a couple, but I came across this thing where they was talking about fans ranking the top 5 pop girls, and I was like, "Oh, this will be a good one," because we love talking about pop girlies over here on this show. So yeah, so I happened to see this thing. They were talking about on July 29th at Aaron from Target's posted a collage featuring Lady Gaga, Katy Perry, Taylor Swift, Beyoncé, and Ariana Grande Frappuccino, prompting fans to rank their main pop girls. Responses varied by criteria like vocals, songwriting, commercial success, and versatility, with Katy Perry often at the bottom due to recent output. Well, yeah, there is that. Which I'm not surprised if she would be at the bottom, while the others swapped top spots. Some fans defended favorites, added Rihanna or Britney Spears, or called for less competition among women, highlighting the artist's lasting cultural impact. But where's the fun in that? Like, stop putting women against each other. We love doing that because it causes mess. So that's why we like doing it. But child, if I got a choice, I don't want to do it, but let's do it. Let's put my top 5. So if I had to choose, Beyonce goes first. Gaga, I'm putting second. Because say what you want about Gaga and all that other stuff, but I have to say she got a much higher catalog, got better songs. So I'm gonna put Beyonce first, Gaga second. I'm gonna put Ariana Grande third, Taylor Swift fourth, and Katy Perry last. That's gonna be my top 5. But I did create my own one because since they was up in there putting Britney Spears and all these other ones in there, I was like, you know what? Maybe I could create my own little situation. Where'd I put it? Oh, it was in my notes. So I put at number 5, I put Taylor Swift. Now I'm not a Swiftie. I do like some of her songs. You already know 1989. I do still play that album. That was like, because it's very much pop. It's fun. It's upbeat. It fits her voice perfectly because she ain't that great of a singer, but it's a fun record. But I think that we can't deny, say what you want, if you want to call it white mediocrity or whatever, whenever Taylor Swift puts something out, she got a chokehold on them white girls. And I guess other people too, but majority of them white girls, they live for Taylor Swift and little kids as well. So because she's like a 35-year-old trapped in the, she's like a 12-year-old who still writes in her Trapper Keeper, trapped in a 35-year-old woman's body. So her cultural impact is there. So that's why I put it at number 5. Number 4, I did pick Charlie XCX because it's like every time Charlie puts something out, it's a cultural event. The people live for her, whether you like her albums or not. She definitely creates moments whenever she puts out music, and she's somebody who is a chameleon with the music that she creates. Number 3, even though she ain't put out an album in a month of Sundays, I did pick Rihanna because Rihanna, to me, definitely has a great body of work. Yes, she's a fabulous window shopper, meaning that whenever somebody got a song out there, she's got a good ear and she'll go in the studio and record it and it becomes a hit. Anti, I will always say, is like, besides Good Girl Gone Bad, because that was like the commercial album and all this stuff, Anti definitely feels like it was something that was just otherworldly. And to me, that's her best body of work. So Rihanna's out here still influencing the girls, even though she ain't put out a record in almost 10 damn years. Then at number 2, I have Beyonce. So anytime Beyonce does something, puts out something, like recently, she must have got, I think she got surgery on them knees. Because remember, she was out here on the struggle bus. She had pains and all this stuff, was touring with injuries or whatever. But it seems like she went and had the surgery. She's been in recovery. She lost the weight. She crossing her legs every time you see her. So Ms. Mamas is ready to get out there and start getting me bodied with this upcoming rock record. That is the rumor. So Beyonce, every time Beyonce comes out with something, it's a cultural event. People live. Any little subliminal she puts out, the fans lose their damn minds. So Beyonce is my number 2. And at number 1, y'all should know who's going to be my number 1. She just released an album a couple of weeks ago. It's Hunter. We got to put her up in there, especially with Confessions 2 being her 15th number 1 album. People are loving the record. It's a big success. Yeah, a lot of the fans don't stream. We're all about physical copies, all this other stuff. But Madonna Mania, she is back after the Polarized and Madam X record. Regardless of how people feel, she definitely has a chokehold on the world. She definitely creates moments and has that cultural impact, because now what her next thing is, it's aging, which is a lot of people not being used to seeing a 60, soon to be 68-year-old pop star aging in front of our eyes and telling you that, yes, you can do whatever you want to do. You can be sexy. You can be all these things at your age. And why not? They sending out so many vortexes for my job. It's like, John, I'm not coming in today. I'm doing the show. But anyway, let's get back into this. So that's the top 5. But let me scroll through some of these Twitters. Let's see what the peoples are saying. They said number 5, Katy Perry. 4, Beyonce. Ariana Grande, number 3. Taylor Swift, number 2. Lady Gaga, number 1. Another person said Taylor at the bottom. Katy at number 4. Ari number 3. Beyonce at number 2. And Gaga at number 1. Then we have another one. They have Ariana at the bottom, Bey at number 4, number 3, Taylor Swift, Gaga at number 2, and they said that Gaga ranking the only 4 main pop girls in, well, they said in the photo, but it was more. So they put Gaga at 1, Taylor 2, Bey 3, Ari 4, and another person said Gaga at number 5, Ari at number 4, Katy at number 3, Taylor number 2, Beyonce number 1. So it all depends on taste. And I'll be before, but then I came across this other picture too, where they said, who has the strongest catalog? So let me pull that one out, because I think this will be interesting, because I'm liking some of the 4 girls that they got up in here, where they say who has the strongest catalog, I guess album. So yeah, they picked Katy Perry, Rihanna, Gaga, and Britney. So once they Rihanna, not even because of the albums, but because of the massive hit singles. Well, yeah, because quiet as it's kept, Rihanna's never had like a really good cohesive album. I think she's had like really good singles that have come out of places. But if we really want to talk about cohesive album, I would say Rated R. And like I can listen to Rated R beginning to end. Also, oh my God, what's the name of the album where she had the red hair and had "Where Have You Been All My Life?" That was a good record too. And I'll even put Anti in here. So that's 3 good records. And Good Girl Gone Bad, I can listen to that one from beginning to end. So that's 4. Another person said they're not comparable to Britney, but among the 3, Riri, Gaga, and Katy. Another said, could we stop with the Britney glaze? Her discography is mid for a pop queen. She only has 5 number 1s and 14 top 10 hits in the Hot 100, and she was the industry darling, cultural icon, but her music doesn't hold a candle to the other 3. Unpopular opinion, I'm actually going to agree with this. I do feel like Britney was like this cultural phenomenon. People was living for her, you know, pretty girl, would get up there, dance, all the other stuff. But her songs never really like hit it out of the park. Like she had some great songs. Like I live for Womanizer. I live for Oops, I Did It Again. I live for Lucky. I live for what's another one? I Was Born to Make You Happy. Well, even though that was never, I don't think that was a hit, but that was a good song. We live for If You Seek Amy. I definitely live for Kill the Lights. Wait a minute. So I feel like she did. I mean, when she started going a little more EDM and was getting a little more electronic, I'm not saying the mess she did with Will I Ain't. I'm talking about like when she got there with I Love In the Zone. That was a good damn record. So I'm not gonna hold you on that. Now I will say Baby One More Time, Oops, I Did It Again. There's a lot of filler on those records. But there's some bops in there if you really look. But yeah, a lot of the songs that weren't hits, she's got some non-album hits that I feel like are better than the hits that were released. But I definitely feel like, but I guess maybe in that case, that's probably why they're probably feeling like her discography is mid. Because I think a lot of the songs that turned out to be hits, there were better songs on the records than the songs that were released as singles. What else? Because I'm seeing a lot of mess in here. One person said Katy Perry has the strongest. We don't have to lie here. Closest one is Rihanna. Of course, Britney and Gaga can just be in another conversation. But I will say Katy Perry has the strongest because that Teenage Dream album, I'm like, every song on that damn record was perfect. It was like everything was a bop on that. So another person said Britney for sure. That's the number one. Gaga, definitely. Rihanna, no doubt. Katy Perry, of course. So it just seems like to me that just is how the people are feeling. But I want to ask you all, what do you guys think of this story? Who would you consider as their top 5 pop girls? I would like to see y'all put in order of this one here, and if y'all could do what I did, which was if you had to choose the top 5 pop girls in this list, put them in the order, but also who, in your opinion, are your top 5 pop girls, not the ones that's a part of this list. So I want a list of the girls here and your own personal taste. So that way I get to know your personal style and your personal taste of who in your mind, not by what society thinks, but you individually, who are your top 5 tastemakers. Child, I should have put Bjork up in there. That's what I should have picked. Because I do live for Bjork. I live for FKA Twigs. Child, I was working out in the gym to FKA Twigs yesterday. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. I know that's why I said I was going to get y'all fired up with this one because we got a lot of comments. Let me scroll on up. Scroll up, scroll on up, shaking on the scene in the gangster lean. You said, I think Onyx knows when I say it's huge where Morgan Wallen is. Country boom won't last, but I guess it's popular because it's what where men feel represented. Yeah, because of what this whole thing. I think Raga's starting to make a resurgence. But yeah, a male audience chokehold. You said out of these 5, I would rank them in order: Taylor, Gaga, Beyonce, Ariana 4th, and then Katy. But let's replace her with Rihanna and make her my 5th. Well, damn, y'all just taking Katy completely out of the category. None of them sing, dance, and perform better than Bey. Well, that part. Rihanna got hits for days. Such a good ear. If she kept putting out music, I could see her having the most number ones. My personal top 5 pop divas of all time: Bjork, Kate Bush. Look at y'all. I mean, and it's funny, I was asking y'all to do that, and you did it anyway. Bjork, Kate Bush, Chanta, Britney Spears at 4th, and Charlie XCX as my 5th. One thing Chris gonna do is swing for Chanta. It sure is. And you said top 5 on the U.S. Billboard Top 5 album sales and number 1 dance album. Guess which album she blocked? The Fame by Lady Gaga is number 2. Ooh. Fiona Apple and Joanna Newsom aren't considered pop. Janet doesn't tickle my fancy anymore. I'm surprised nobody put Janet up in there. Taylor and Gaga would rank. I mean, she'd probably be Lizzo's top 5. Taylor and Gaga would rank in the top 10, but don't crack my top 5. I clearly lean more alternative in my taste. Mm-hmm. Oh, it was talk that talk. That's what it was. Mm-hmm. It said pop fans do not like singers. I mean, if that was the case, yeah, then we would talk about Whitney Houston and Celine Dion. We're not talking about Mariah Carey. We're not talking about vocalists. I mean, pop music is not. It's not about the vocals. It's about being able to sing along to the songs. I mean, yeah, you should be able to carry a tune if you're going to be a pop singer or a pop star, but it's a lot that goes into being a pop star. It's having a good ear, being able to sing along to the songs. The visuals got to be on point. The fashions, the choreography it's a complete package. Britney was an industry puppet. I will say this: if it wasn't for the childhood trauma, I think Crystal would outgrew her. Ooh. She definitely was an industry puppet. The Worst Britney album, Britney. Oh yeah, please, that album was good. I'm glad you put that there. Britney Jean was terrible. It is better than anything Katy Perry has ever. The songs Britney doesn't even sing on that album are better than Katy living her Candyland fantasy. Well, yeah, because there was the rumor that they had her. That wasn't even her singing on that record. What fucking album did Katy have? Huh? Britney was better. Blackout made her. Oh yeah, how I forget about Blackout? Blackout definitely is an album I listen to from front to back. So many good songs on that record. Danger, Danger put his foot on that record. Rihanna next and Gaga fell off after Born This Way and did. Katy did her big one on Teenage Dream. No, I was gonna say, but we can't take away from Teenage Dream. Where you're talking about what fucking album? Teenage Dream was like from beginning to end, bop after bop after bop after bop, and I think that was the album that solidified her as the artist with the most hits off of that one record. I think that wasn't that like a feat that was she beat from Elvis Presley or something on it. I can't remember because they always come out with all this stuff, and I'm like, I don't care enough to be trying to remember all that mess, but yeah, Teenage Dream was definitely that record that was like, I think every song of the album was a hit. A gag that ain't nobody said Beyonce and they were, oh, you talking about the one when I did the top four? Blackout is referred to as the pop Bible for a reason, for sure. She's an industry puppet because she made cookie cutter pop and didn't pander to the homosexuals and their taste in music. I'm 42. The ones Twitter use don't speak to me. If I want Grace Jones and Madonna with soul, they're right. They're unlike the girl that has no soul. You could see it. My top five: Madonna, or sorry, Santa, Donna Summer, Olivia Newton-John, Bjork, and Charlie XCX. So you got the queen of pop, the queen of disco, the queen of getting physical, the queen of alternative pop, and the princess of hyperpop. Madonna, Kylie Minogue, Celine Dion, Charlie XCX, Carly Rae Jepsen, and of course, my top five hedonistic horny pop girls: Kesha, Tuve Lo, Charlie XCX. You know what? I should have did that one too. Madonna, Grace Jones, pull up to my bumper. Yes, honey. We like the hedonistic girls. Out of the five provided, Bey, Ari, Gaga, Katy, Taylor. And you said Beyonce, Gaga, Ariana, Katy, and Taylor. Damn, everybody got Taylor at the bottom. I mean, quiet as kept, I kind of put Taylor at the bottom too. Like you said, Danger ain't never did anything that good since. I mean, and remember when he worked with remember when he worked with the Timu Brittany, Nicole Scherzinger on that Whatever You Like and all the other stuff, and none of y'all cared. And he said, if I need to stay home because I want to dance and drink and horny, like Tolo said, I'm drunk and horny. If I have to stay sober because you need to be watched, I'm gonna scream and fight. That was a lot. And me trying to even decipher what that was. If you say, you know what, I will give you. Yes, Teenage Dream was a good record. Y'all cannot hate on that album. And you said, damn, I thought she had like 2 albums, but she literally milked that fucking. Did she come out with like a deluxe edition of that version? She definitely milked the hell out of that fucking record. And then since then, she kept trying to replicate the success of that record. And remember when she tried to get personable? Like she was trying to, oh look, I could talk about real deep stuff too. Bitch, it was about as deep as a pond with a witness. That album was a mess. I was like, girl, you're not relatable. You came across as unlikable with that album. And then she tried to do the 24-hour Big Brother type surveillance thing. I'm like, what is this? It's like, no, it's a chop. She had 3 albums. Prison was successful. Don't forget Dark Horse had Dark Horse was a good record too. And that's all from her working with Dr. Pugh. But anyway, all right, y'all. So now let's get into our next hot topic. And let's talk about Usher. So I'm sure y'all heard all the controversy going around regarding this whole thing that Usher apparently is doing on his current tour with Chris Breezy, which is that I guess he's bringing girls from the audience on stage and doing lap dances and all this other stuff. So anyway, there was this brain dead donkey that decided to get interviewed by TMZ, had a little 15 minutes. We done moved on to the next thing. And she was up there saying that I wanted Chris Brown to give me a lap dance. I didn't want Usher. Because apparently she wanted a light bright to beat the shit out of her on stage rather than getting a lap dance from someone who is a legend in the game like Usher. So she thought she ate by trying to be cute, by trying to put him down and all this other stuff. But Usher had something for that ass. So, and then I saw, since then, I said this was going to happen. After that whole situation, I know a lot of you girls are going to try to go viral by being like, oh, so she wanted to play herself on line or whatever it was and get her little 15 minutes from TMZ, who will interview pretty much an envelope at this point if it could talk back. And she basically was like, oh yeah, let me get my moment. And the girls now going to be out here being like, you know what? Oh, since this girl want to get up here and play herself, if Usher called me to the stage, I'm gonna show out. There was one girl that was up in there, damn near about to break Usher, probably have him pull a groin. She was up there riding him like a stallion. I seen that online. So we already know all these girls gonna be wanting their moments too, but they're gonna be Team Usher in this situation. So now, after a fan appeared uncomfortable when he brought her on stage at his Nashville show over the weekend, the singer-songwriter issued a warning at his concert for all fans who were brought up for a serenade of "Can you handle it?" I don't think you can handle this. Okay, now he said, before we get started, don't bring your ass up here if you don't want to be here. This is what Usher, who's 47, told the crowd at his show in Birmingham, Alabama on Tuesday, July 28th, according to a TikTok video from the concert. God don't like ugly, but most certainly don't feel too good about pretty privilege either. Okay, that's what he was referring to, that girl. Wait, that's why you need to leave these brain dead light brights alone. Now, during his tour stop in Nashville, which is part of his co-headlining R&B tour with Chris Brown, Usher brought a fan on stage and attempted to give her a sultry lap dance on a bed, according to a fan video on TikTok. During the moment, the fan appeared uncomfortable and their interaction went viral on social media. Well, first of all, if he's going to bring up on stage, you could have nipped that in the bud from the beginning. Like, nah, I don't want to do it. Bitch, who do you think people doing favors for? If you, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna commit, but I'm gonna just show like I don't want to be up here. Like he said, don't bring your ass up on this stage if you don't want to be up here. Don't waste my time. Find out who want to come up there. If y'all know this segment is coming, because any other time y'all know everything that's going to go down with these damn concerts, because people post everything up on social media. If you knew the shit was coming, what you should have did was decline from the beginning. And Usher or any members of his team that be scouting out the girls to come up on stage for that segment should have been like, you know what? There's a girl that actually want to be up there, and I would have went and did it. But she showed her ass, and she thinking see some hot shit. Girl, bye. Now, they said, I don't think she want to be on stage, the My Boo singer said after noticing a woman appeared uninterested. The fan who was later identified, well, I ain't even going to tell you her name. That's how relevant she is. She later spoke to TMZ about the incident and said she was hoping to get pulled on stage by Brown, saying, I was approached first and upgraded to VIP. They don't give you any instructions on who, what, when, where, or how, she told the outlet. They told me that it was a possibility of me going on stage, but they didn't confirm that until it was closer to time for me to go on stage. Of course, you're getting to go on stage. Why would I decline that? So you went up on stage not knowing what you was going up on stage for. You didn't know what that segment was. And you know what? That's the fault of the team. Y'all need to let people be aware that, okay, that you may or may not go up on stage. It's a segment in the show that Usher pulls a girl up on stage, similar to like what Janet was doing when she would give dudes lap dances during Tommy Up, Tommy Down. What's the name? Isn't that the name of the song? It's like when they be doing those little segments. Y'all need to let the people know what they're getting into before they get up there, if that's what the truth is. Don't just be like, oh, I'm just pulling. Well, like, what's going on? What's happening? And all of a sudden you see a bed and then Usher comes out and gets on top of it. Like, in this day and age where everybody's talking about some damn consent, y'all need to let people know what's the tea. She said, me solely, I went to the concert for Chris Brown. Well, bitch, maybe what you should have did was showed up at the time when Usher's segment was over, because I don't know who goes first. Is it Usher go first and Chris Brown go first, or are they alternating depending on what city they go to? Because she said, me solely, I went to the concert for Chris Brown. It's nothing against Usher. I mean, it kind of is something against him because you're not a fan, clearly. I'm more of a Chris Brown fan than I am of Usher, of course. It would have been a different reaction with Chris Brown. It wouldn't have been the stiffness or whatever the internet is portraying. You know what? I'm about sick of y'all always talking about the internet portraying things a certain way. You reacted a certain way because Lipo Lee do that same shit, and I'm gonna get into his little high yellow ass in the next segment. Y'all always want to point things out and blame the internet whenever y'all do things and don't want to take responsibility or accountability for the way y'all come across. Like I said before, if you ain't want to get up there and get a lap dance from Chris Brown, from us, you should have said no. I'm not interested, and kept it moving. I'm like, okay. Well, who want to come up on the stage? So y'all need to. I feel like Usher and his team, y'all need to figure out a better way of navigating this whole situation. So that way, people don't come out here looking like Boo Boo the Fool. There's no egg on the face. Nobody's embarrassed, and the show can go across as smoothly. But clearly, y'all didn't think this through. Because I would think if y'all been doing this show, has this been a part of the show the entire time? If that's the case, how are people not aware that this is coming? So the interviewer then referenced a social media post where Cheyenne said, pretty privilege is something you hoes will never know about. See, this is the part where bitches like her need the shit slapped out of her, because y'all be thinking, oh, because I'm light-skinned and I got a weave, because I don't think that's her natural hair. And y'all get up there with no titties, shaped like a whole fucking boy, looking like a Temu version of Bianca Lawson, and trying to talk about some damn pretty privilege. Girl, get off my line with this. Now, in response, Cheyenne said that that was aimed toward people in her hometown, and she would have declined the offer if she had known Usher, not Brown, would bring her on stage. She said, I would have said no, but you didn't, bitch. You got your ass up there and did the whole thing anyway. So you should have said no. You can't go on and say, I would have said no. It wasn't my intention to ruin the moment. But your face said otherwise. So I hate when I say, like, when people don't take accountability for the things they do, and then you want to sit and blame the internet, or you want to say, I don't want to ruin the moment, but at least fake it. Y'all be faking it when y'all be acting like these ninjas that be up in y'all coochie be doing something. When y'all want, if you up there spreading your legs for an athlete, y'all be up in there faking it because you want a baby and some financial compensation out of the shit. Any other time y'all can fake it, but you couldn't fake it for Usher? Okay. Get off my line. That's why I can't with you fucking birds. So there's that. Oh, yeah, before I get up out of here, now that I'm done reading, when I talk about reading, let's talk about reading. So I came across this video of Lisa Ray McCoy talking to Carlos King about the situation. And I think she pretty much echoes my sentiments in this whole situation. So we're going to play this clip, and we're going to come back, and we're going to talk.
Go to a Chris Brown and an Usher concert. We have seen it enough to know that when it comes to that part, that you know what the women has done and what is expected. So if you go up there and do something different and other than what's expected, people are going to look at you like you're the dumb one, because they like, where the hell you been, under a rock? Because this is what it is. Mm-hmm. So I get that she had a man and that maybe she's not that kind of girl. But if you're not that kind of girl, then you should have kept your ass sitting down in your seat. Pretty as fuck or not. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. Because you can get up there and say, ain't nobody gonna do nothing to me that I don't want to be done to me. Right. That's true. But again, when you're up there, that's a part of the show. That's a part of the show. Period. That's what they do for that part of the show. You can't act like you didn't know that. And I'm going to add this on there too. You go to a Chris Brown and an Usher concert, little much. Like, baby. Came real strong. It was like what Pretty with Privilege or just Lady Like. It's like, wow. You know what I'm saying? So all of that is, for me, is I'm taken aback. I'm almost like, ugh. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot. I think it's a way that you can get your point across with the stance that she took to be this pretty privileged lady, that she could have had said all of this ladylike. You know, I think what hope happen is that she opened up a can of worms, and I think that they're gonna get her, especially the girls that is about it. They're gonna be like, well, bitch, you should have, you know what I'm saying? And it's gonna be like, woo, you know what I mean? Because the internet, you know, is unstoppable. You know what I mean? So I do believe that, you know, she's gonna get a little bit of backlash for this.
She did. And that's why I think I came across as harsh as I did when I said what I said, because the way she came across with the attitude and trying to be all defensive. And first of all, if Lisa Ray saying that the girl had a man and she was feeling uncomfortable, then you should have said that. She ain't said none of that. From what I heard, it was basically you saying, oh, I would have preferred Chris Brown. So you didn't care whether or not you had a man. You wanted another artist to do what they did. But I don't know if is that part of Chris Brown. Do Chris Brown come up there and be giving lap dances to girls on stage, or is that an Usher thing? I don't know. I'm not going to their concert. I'm not watching the footage online, so I don't know what's going on. But like what Lisa said in the beginning, and there's more to this clip, so I'm gonna play it in a second before I forget. If they were basically saying that, yeah, would you be living on a rock? Because I said this before. I'm sure you were aware of that this was part of the show from the beginning. So all of a sudden you're gonna act brand new when you get called to the carpet, you was put on the spot and not realize that this was part of the show. Like, it's been part of the show since they launched the concert. So it's bullshit.
But, you know, like she said, nothing happens in Chattanooga. So maybe she wanted to make that noise, and maybe she's ready for all of that, you know, that comeback, you know, so little much, you know, that comeback, you know. So I just wanted to know, was she expecting Chris Brown?
She was. She said she was.
You know what's so funny? Maybe I might have been mad too. You know, I would have been like, nah, not you.
I never thought of, because no disrespect.
No disrespect at all.
Usher and Chris have two different demographics.
That's true. And one is available and one is not. You know.
You could change anything if you.
Oh yeah, that's her. We don't care about Little Miss Bird. So yeah, there you have it. So I just want to give you a little bit of that con, because it was going to go into the clips with her and stuff. But I just want to play what Lisa Ray had to say. So yeah, so there you have it. I want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this whole situation in regards to the whole lap dance situation? And I do agree with them that, yeah, they have different demographics. Usher is 47 years old, so he got the grown and sexy that's coming in. And yeah, he's still trying to be a little raunchy. So he got a little bit more of the middle-aged crowd coming out. Chris Brown leads younger because he's in his mid to late 30s in his demographic. So they getting up there. They're getting where where Usher already been, and it's surpassed. His fans about to hit that mark where they about to hit into the whole middle-age type situation, because Chris Brown almost 40. So yeah, so there you have it. I definitely want to hear from y'all in regards to this whole thing. Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. It said my own 5, Bay, Reed, Janet, Mariah. I don't know about. So you just gave us 4. One of the boys' teenage dream Prism, so it tracks both Gaga and you said notice how no one mentioned Xtina, Forever the Bridesmaid. Funny enough, I was thinking about her in my head, but I just couldn't bring myself to put her down in the top 5. Both Gaga and Katie had a Killer 3 album run, The Fame Monster and The Fame and Born This Way. Yeah, they were like they had their little trilogy of records, and then after that they fell off. Maybe she didn't want to catch anything Usher is. This water is so delicious. We still talking about Usher spreading her pedicle. It's like Xtina might be the better singer, but Brittany will go far because she's a nicer human being and not to see you next Tuesday. Mary J. Blige, I will always defend Pink because she's not the only one that called Xtina for being a horrible person, not a girl's girl. Yes, stupid girl is problematic, but in 2006, like she said, living in LA, you'd understand as a girl from Philly, stupid girls are all over LA. Yeah, because I totally get it. Because look, with Pink being from Philly, that's 2 hours from New York. So our energy is similar. Hey, Chris, I recently seen Slater this past Wednesday in St. Louis, and baby, she ate. Oh, you went to that concert? I did see that the videos, like the whole concert from that St. Louis show, is all over YouTube. And I like the setup. She had like a house up on stage and comes out and perform. I definitely, child, I need to get a ticket to her show. So, got to scrape some coins together and see how I ticket it. Because isn't she performing in New York next month? So I definitely need to go. But I heard that the show is pretty good. And it's funny how she kicked it off in her hometown, St. Louis, but it killed one stupid girl. Plus, oh my God, I'm so sick of these goddamn mosquitoes. Get over here, bitch. These suckers always try to they will find me in a room. I didn't get it though. It's still around here somewhere. You said, but it killed one stupid. Do you know who I just remembered that should have been in my top 5? Lana Del Rey. So you got Beyonce, Katie. Wait, who's Katie? So now I gotta sit here and remember who all these abbreviations. But I like that you put Lana Del Rey as your top 5. Speaking of Janet, not the janitors. The janitors are now admitting that now that Dallas Austin spilled the tea, they agree that Janet had nothing to say. It was okay to be sexual and single on All For You. They're saying it's like Jenna's never been somebody who's been interested in stuff. I mean, yeah, maybe she's always kind of taking creative risks because Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis kind of gave her credence to do that. But a lot of times, Jenna's never been that girl where she's pushed the boundaries to the point of like in the same vein of like a Madonna or whatever. And when you point this out, everybody wants to call it racism, whatever. It's not. The fact of the matter was, Jenna had like little moments and stuff. Her cultural impact is sickening. And she did what she did. You know, I'm over the whole Janet discourse. I'm moving on from that. Like you said, Pitchfork just reviewed All For You this week, and for its Sunday review, when I listened to that album earlier this year, I got so bored and turned it off. It may be a divorce album, but it's a happy one. But did I get it? I hope so. Nope, I didn't. This motherfucker is quick. This son of a bitch is quick. I'm trying to kill this motherfucker. Yeah, they're gonna be seeing me trying to slap the shit out of this damn mosquito. Oh, I hate mosquitoes. She in here somewhere. And I gotta sit around and see, like, okay, I gotta watch it because she's gonna try to do a sneak attack. You ain't getting my blood, you vampire. You said, but they agree because it makes sense why sex was the subject of Demita Joe 20YO and Discipline. So it makes sense why she's not in the recording studio. She checked out, but because of contracts, she knew she owed albums. That's why she was wanting material to just record. Janet got hits, but the quality diminished over time. Dance performed her ass off, though, and didn't play when it came to visuals. That's what I was going to say, too. Like, I love watching Janet dance. And the feedback was above. I wanted more of that when she did Discipline. But then she kind of like, she didn't really like go there with that. Because feedback, bitch, whenever that song come on, that beat and the production, and yeah, definitely you could, I don't know what that was. That cereal she was dancing in, like a bowl of cereal. I don't know. The video was a choice, but for the most part, I was liking the choreography. MDNA is the exact opposite, very dark and angry, wanting the husband and father of her child, Pow Pow and Bang Bang. I can imagine doing that nightly. Had to make Rocco uncomfortable. Well, yeah, when you talking shit about my father, how would you expect me to I wouldn't feel the most comfortable regarding that. I didn't even watch the video in full. What was the girl giving? Who are you talking about, Janet? Or are you talking about the girl that Usher was, I posted a still on my page. I should have put up a picture, but I just didn't care enough. It always makes me happy when I gag you so much you take a sip from your water. It's like, no shade, all of this on stage is too much. But maybe Usher need to get some women in his age. No, well, because these men, it's like y'all be 40 something, 50. I mean, look, I can't talk. I'm in my 40s too. But it's like a lot of these 40 something, 50 something, y'all be there grinding up on these 22-year-olds or whatever. It's like, can we move on from that? Y'all want to be pulling these little girls. Y'all picking up these little, like it was said here. Stop trying to pull these young ass birds. Exactly. Stop pulling these young ass birds on stage. Chirp, chirp. Charlie is close to selling out because I think her charging 101.85 any seat. So my friend is getting it immediately now because she was like, it was close to selling out because she made it affordable. That's a good damn price, $100. One thing about I love at the Garden, if I want to buy tickets for a show, the section that a lot of us go in, a lot of us get seats for we have a section that we put like staff in the 100s. And we center stage, bitch. I be living. I was like, oh, y'all be hooking us up with the good seats. And he said B stands for Bjork, not Beyonce. I love musicians, especially when they don't sell whiskey. Oh, didn't I? I just heard something about her new whiskey line, and I was like, I don't care. And I'm a whiskey drinker. But I don't care enough to even want to try. I'm still mad I wasn't able, and I'm not even a fan of Absolute. I was like, I'm still mad I didn't get Madonna's Absolute vodka. Look, that would be a dream for me to have. I would love to have my own line of liquor. And yeah, if I was to come out my own line, it definitely would be whiskey. Oh, you said it said at you fighting the mosquito is a gag. He said Janet not a singer, but she sound better than Madonna. Also dances better. I also prefer don't have me start windmilling you through this damn screen. Usher fans aren't gonna go see the Chris. Usher fans aren't gonna go see the Chris Brown because they even admit he's famous because the girls got puberty when he started getting hedonistic. Oh, now she done rose up again. There go that damn mosquito. I'm gonna get you, bitch. Where's first of all, I need to find my fly swatter. It's an electrical one. I be shocking these hoes. Mm, okay. Anyway, where are we going? What's our next topic? All right, so now let's move on. And let's talk about this whole Kandi Burruss drama. So apparently, Kandi Burruss and Tamar Braxton are at it again because apparently, I think Jason Lee did an interview with Carlos King, which is over there on the YouTube. If you care enough to check it out, or whatever the case is. And she did a recent interview where she said she had no beef with anybody and explained that greeting Kandi during an event was simply the respectful thing to do because if anybody don't know what happened, is that we saw a viral video going around at the Essence Music Fest of who was it? It was Brandy. I believe Sherry Shepherd was in the picture. You saw Monica. There was Kandi and Missy Elliott, and then Tamar. I believe there might have been somebody else too, but I can't remember. That might be all the girls. So Tamar was trying to go to all the girls, and Monica was like, she don't fuck with her no more because she had her little moment. We went through a whole video on her a couple of weeks ago, and so Monica was paying her dust, but everybody, of course, is focusing on the interaction of Kandi, where Tamar tried to go in. Kandi was not receiving the whole interaction, rolled her eyes when Tamar went back and got in the pitch or whatever, because she was like, I'm not here to be partaking in that fake ish that Tamar trying to do in front of the cameras. But you got a whole lot of smoke for me on social media and a whole bunch of other stuff. I'm not being fake for no cameras. Because that's exactly how I would get too. So I match energy with energy. So I'm with Kandi on the whole. I'm not doing that fake Hollywood mess. So Kandi appeared to clap back at Tamar as rumors of a feud between the two continue making the rounds online. And so Kandi went and shared a clip of Carlos King's interview with Jason Lee, who alleged that Tamar tried to sue him and his platform to use him and his platform to attack Kandi. So then Kandi went and reposted the interview, and she also captioned the post saying, "But I'm supposed to be the mean girl," seemingly responding to recent comments Tamar made about their interaction at the Essence Festival. Now, during the recent interview, Tamar claimed Kandi appeared distant toward her during the event, adding another layer to the ongoing speculation surrounding their relationship. Yeah, because like I said, if you're going to be talking mess about me, I'm not giving you the satisfaction of being nice to you when every time I try to be nice, you got something to say negative about me. And then the next day you want to play the victim. And it's like, I'm not going and doing this back and forth with you. That you nice to me today and then tomorrow is a whole nother person. Bitch, if you bipolar, take your medication. Like with me, I've always said, I like to meet people at face value. Show me who you are all the time. I know everybody got different personalities and different moves and this, that, and the other. I'm not saying you got to be perfect. I'm not saying you got to be Mary Poppins. But what you're not going to do is you're going to be nice to me today, and then an hour later, all of a sudden, you a whole nother personality. I'm like, bitch, who am I talking to right now? I was just talking to Tamar 5 minutes ago. Am I talking to Esteem or whatever the fuck your middle name is? Am I talking to another imaginary Braxton that Evelyn gave birth to that I never met, that I'm meeting right now? Like, which personality am I getting? Don't give me a new damn personality an hour after we was just kicking it and we was cool. So I want to show y'all this clip of Lipo Lee over there on the situation, talking to Carlos King. And then we are going to come back and we gonna talk.
To Tamar Braxton, then she's gonna have her opinion about me because of the fact that I woke up and realized that she was using me and built a relationship with Hollywood Unlocked through Jason Lee and was trying to use my platform to attack Kandi. Once I realized the game, I was like, okay, cool. And then she felt what that looks like, because I don't handle betrayal well. And I show up as my true, authentic self. And when you burn me, chances are you're probably going to get burned. Now, I will say that's the same Tamar Braxton, though, who was my friend, who hung out with me, who I put money in her pocket so she could feed her family, who put her on my platform, who brought her on my show. I did stuff with her. The same person. I didn't switch up overnight. But the one thing I won't do is allow anybody to use, abuse, or attack me and think that the Lord that I serve won't give them the blessing of a lesson not to do that to nobody else.
So the thing is this, I'm friends with Tamar too, right?
Friends? Yeah. So talking to Tamar Braxton.
That happened at Essence Fest. Kandi, you went to go speak to her and
Wait, I think that might have been it, but there was another clip that I saw. We'll come back to that because I got the Kandi thing also coming up. This is the one where he somehow that he dared her to call him a messy bitch because he got receipts and was talking about how she was homeless and was slobbing peen by a married man's peen to get her little coins to pay for your dog and get some food. I mean, and you talking about taking care of Logan too, because you ain't bring him up. But yeah, I got this clip and we're gonna come back and talk.
I wish a bitch would ever find the day, the hour, or the night. It could be a holiday, it could be on the Sabbath. I want you to sit down and say to me, Jason Lee, you're a mess because of X. And I'm going to tell you what the exercise you're going to see. I'm going to take a bitch on a trip. Let me get comfortable. I'm going to take him on a trip. Let's talk about that time you were homeless and was sucking dick by that married man to get your little coins to pay for your dog to get some food. I'm not saying anybody in particular. I'm just saying anybody. Let's talk about that house she was living in the back. You couldn't pay no bills in your corroded bathtub. I ain't saying no names. I'm just saying it could be anybody. Let's talk about the drugs and the nights of alcohol when you was slipping out the club and couldn't carry yourself home, so I had to carry you home. Let's talk about all the mess. See, the mess that I do is I put it right out there in your face. I'm going to let you see fat, sloppy Jason with horizontal striped shirts, having no business wearing those shirts like that from Fashion Nova for $6 in Dominican Republic, living his best beans and rice life. Yeah, I'm going to show you that nigga. Now, I wish a bitch.
Sound. Well, that's Jason. That's Lipoli up in here being messy per usual. And funny enough, I was watching. There was something that came out because we're gonna go back and we're gonna play that clip with the Kandi thing in a second. But funny enough, somebody went and said, "I would never tell Jason Lee I'm hungry." I would never tell Jason Lee I'm even hungry because he'll go back and tell your business. That's why I was like, when you look at it, was like him and Tamar deserve each other. And I did see that one of the videos, it might have been on the Neighborhood Talk, when they posted this thing up here with Jason Lee going in on Tamar. I did see Funky Dineva liked it. So it kind of, I mean, I don't know if, because this story came out yesterday, I didn't see his show yesterday, so I don't know if he addressed it. But he clearly liked the video, because here's the thing that I said. I was like, she used Lipo Lee like she used Funky Dineva. So it was like, all of a sudden, you out here trying to be friends with these bloggers or people who sit up here and spill tea and the gays, because you want to collect them like, you know, Grammys or tchotchkes or whatever the case is, whatever your little hobby is. You want to collect the homosexuals, and you want to get in the good graces because you want to control the narrative of media or whatever the case is. But yeah, it's like, I would never tell him my personal business, because here you go getting on Carlos King's show or any other show because you like the attention, you like all the clout, and you love name dropping. This ninja can't get through a whole sentence without dropping a celebrity person name. Which is why I know a lot of people don't like effing with him. I mean, kudos to you on building the empire and the businesses and all other stuff, but the messiness, I can't take it. I don't like all that messy shit. So yeah, we definitely have that clip of what it was, that the thing with Kandi, that whole response with Tamar giving her thoughts on the whole Kandi thing. We're gonna play that clip, we're gonna come back and talk. Hold on.
Some people were saying she gave you shade. Y'all still ended up taking a picture together. It was her and Monica and a few other people on the stage. Now, some people were saying Kandi was giving mean girl. Some people were saying you knew the two of y'all had an issue, so maybe you shouldn't have spoke. What do you feel now about the situation, now that, you know, it's all come to a head?
I don't care.
First of all, what in the T-bars is going on with this wig system?
You know, I was at an event, a professional celebratory event. I said, congratulations. And I went on about my business.
Yeah. Do you regret speaking to her at all?
I do not regret saying congratulations. I don't care who you are. You know, we can have beef all day long, right? It's not like I said, oh, let's go to lunch. Let's let's blah, blah, blah. You know, I am not that kind of person. You know what I mean? I don't want beef in my life. I really do enjoy my peace.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I love my life. I have great friends. You know, I have people who really love me.
That happened at Essence Fest. Kandi, you went to go
really with me for real, and vice versa. And it wasn't
really that serious.
It wasn't like I was going like,
yeah.
You know, it gave a congratulations. Everyone on the stage was being honored. And it was one of those events where, you know, you should just show gratitude and be kind and move on.
I didn't even think that moment deserved that big of the spotlight that it did. I think you spoke just like anybody else and kept it moving. But it seems to get blown out of proportion online a little bit.
I think that whoever brought it to the internet wanted that kind of reaction, and God bless them.
So clearly, like, you and her, there's no getting past, because I didn't even realize it was that big of an issue.
I don't have any beef with anybody other than the devil. Really with me for real, and
So now here's the one. Okay, hold on, let me mute because it's music. So yeah, this is the one where y'all saw it before, where Tamar was trying to say hi to the girls, and you got little ass Missy Elliott up there cheesing, and she was like, and it wasn't even just Kandi, it was Monica too, because she got smoked with Monica. Brandy on the end, minding her damn business, like she always do. And she was like, I don't want to be bothered. And my thing is this: you don't get to poke, and I've said this many a time, you don't get to poke the bear and tell the bear how mad to get. You don't get to say a whole bunch of shit and talk shit about me, and all of a sudden today, you're like, congratulations. I'm like, whatever, bitch. I mean, I don't need no congratulations from you. I just like you talk about you want to protect your peace and you don't like drama and stuff. I'm putting myself in Kandi's shoes. I don't like it either. So, but I don't have to receive anything that you give me. It's like I don't fuck with you like that. I don't fuck with you. You spunky ass bitch. I ain't fucking with you. It's like I don't fuck with you. I don't fuck with you. That's just the way I roll. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, end of the time, I guess I would be gracious, but if it's somebody that just gets under my damn skin, if you work my root canal nerve, it's like, no, I'm not sitting there being cordial with you. Bitch, get away from me. Why are you coming to my space with your hot ass breath trying to congratulations? No, stay over there. Stay over there, Janice. Keep your ass over there. I don't got time for the fake and phony because it's a bunch of damn media and cameras around and you want me to perform. Because I don't know, you being fake. And there's people that just don't like faking fakeness. So yeah, and then Kandi went and posted no beef, but she was just calling me a bitch as she walked past me at a party last Saturday. I can't do the fake-ish. So there's that. One person said, Tamar can't pay me to believe that she get into it with almost all the girls, but she not the problem. That's why I said you got beef with everybody, but you be up in here trying to act like that you so damn innocent. It's everybody fault but yours. And it's like, yeah, it's a pass. And first of all, because I was gonna say, is there any more to add to this? But of course, the fans got into the whole situation. So let's see what the fans are saying. One Instagram user said, this beef is starting to get as old and tired as 50 versus Ja Rule. Y'all need to hug and move on. Another person said, Kandi don't know how to let nothing go, LOL. Well, like I told you, you don't get to poke the bear and tell the bear how mad to get. Another person said, I love Tamar. She funny ASF and she do whatever she want, not following everyone. Okay, that was a bird comment. Another person, I wonder, will Kandi real friends tell her how this situation is really looking? Another person, I mean, Tamar did not say anything bad, so I'm confused as to the point Kandi is making. Well, she said that you just called me a bitch last week, but then you up in here 1 minute, like, hey, how you doing? Congratulations. But then you call me a name behind the scenes. So many girls be saying that she throw the rocket high her hand, that she show herself one way in front of the fans and then another way behind the scenes. Didn't K. Michelle say the same damn thing? But Tamar not in the wrong and Kandi the problem. Another person said Tamar wrong and y'all don't want to say it. Well, because those are people who like to enable bad behavior and wonder why their kids is all fucked up. Another person said, oh, who cares? Everybody just need to grow up and keep it moving. Well, at this point, I think we all need to just keep it moving and move on from this situation. But one person did say after a certain age, people don't have time to be beefing with people. Another person said, now we're going to act like Tamar just brought that up. She was asked about it. Well, yeah, my thing is this. If you're going to ask me about something, I'm going to answer it. Why can't I answer a question if I was asked about it? Like, that just sounds dumb. Oh, and another thing, he also talked about Jason Lee. I should probably add this to the docket as well, because I did have this up in here. He addressed the whole Beyonce situation too. And apparently it said he went into detail about what led to his Beyonce rant where Kelly Rowland had to check him. Because why Beyonce and then so let's get into that one, because apparently remember when he was I guess he was at an event where Beyonce was at and he was chasing her around and Beyonce was trying to run away from his ass. So I got that clip. Let's play that and we'll come back and we gonna talk. Shout out to Twitter for this clip.
People think you have a hard-on for Beyonce. They felt you threatened to expose her.
I was so mad about was how the internet turned this thing, because they never heard what I said. I bleeped it out or whatever.
You showed your co-host and they gagged.
But that was just my way of getting the internet's attention because Yvette No Short wouldn't get the message of Beyonce, so I had to get it.
So that's my thing. It's like, hold on, because I had to pause that. So you going to talk about the internet was reacting a certain way, but you use the internet to have this thing go viral. So you ignite the bullshit on the internet, and then you get mad that the internet complied with what you wanted. The fuck is wrong with anyway?
To be honest, because I'm not going to call Angie Beans, who I love, and put her in an awkward situation and say, "This is what's going on. I need to talk to B." Like, I'm not going to call. Who am I to call up the queen and say, I'll put me on the phone with Beyonce? I would absolutely love to clear the air because.
Hold on. Why is it freezing?
And put her in an awkward situation and say, "This is what's going on." And I had to call up the queen and say, I'll put me on the phone with Beyonce. I would absolutely love to clear the air because one thing I never want, and I think the only thing I would ever feel bad about is if Beyonce felt like, damn, Jason, who loved me all these years, like don't like me, or hates on me, or what? No, I love her. She's fucking Beyonce.
Would Beyonce ever say whatever it is that he, in his cockamamie ass mind, would ever cook up? Beyonce would never say that.
We'll say this: every artist, everybody who's in this business needs to have a team that actually gives a fuck, that isn't just, thinking because they work with an artist, they can shit on and treat anybody any type of way. Because I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't give a fuck who you are. When you see me walk in that motherfucking room, you're going to respect me. You're going to put some respect on my name, or you're going to suffer the consequence. And then you all can fucking deal with it over Thanksgiving dinner. It's not my problem. Yvette No Shore, somebody I had a lot of respect for. And Yvette knows that. She will tell you that. I just saw Yvette recently at BET Awards. She didn't speak to me. I didn't speak to her. It's no beef. It's just she know where I stand now. I was in St. Lucia. Saw her backstage. She stopped and talked to my friends. We didn't speak. No beef. Because she know what she did. Am I willing to sit down and talk to Yvette? That's where the issue is. But it's because I worked hard as a black man to own one of the biggest, most relevant companies in culture. And then you don't respect my business, and you a black publicist from Grenada. And I know what you went through. You represent one of the biggest black stars of our lifetime. And you saw how they shitted on Beyonce when she started. You saw how they treated her, how they disrespected her mother when she showed up with them clothes she made and thinking that they weren't cute enough. When that woman, the mother and her father quit their jobs to put everything they had into their. You saw that shit. How the fuck you see their grind and I have a respect for mine? Nah, fuck that. And I'm not supposed to say nothing because you work for Beyonce. You ain't Beyonce. As it relates to Beyonce, she mother. Anytime if mother call me, tell me where you want me to be. I'll get a first class flight and I'll be there because I love her. So there's that. There's no beef.
Yeah, okay. I'll say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story regarding the whole Tamar situation and Jason Lee up in here just jerking himself off in that interview with Carlos King? Whatever y'all say, let me know in the comments, chair. It's like, Jesus, he is insufferable. But let's get to what y'all have to say up in here. The box set was vodka, the Confessions 2 cassettes, and a Madonna Walkman made of material from a disco ball. If Chris Brown gets sent to the pound while his tour is still going on, both him and Usher are going to go bankrupt. Ooh. Yeah, because I gotta you gotta get a return on that investment. I don't particularly like him too. He's a toxic Leo man. Yeah, God, like I don't know whose ego was bigger, his or Jennifer Lopez. Jason Lee didn't have any of this confidence when he was built like a marshmallow. Jason is messy. He should embrace the title because it's obviously an accurate description. Mm-hmm. You can't tell me Jason Lee ain't got secrets on people because who would exactly why he all of a sudden love dropping Rihanna name every chance he get. I'm like, what you got on her? You got her in a conservatorship like they had Britney and now Wendy Williams. I wouldn't be surprised if Floyd Mayweather ain't held hostage with dirt and funding Hollywood unlocked. Remember when Jason wanted to run for an office chair in LA? Didn't he run for office? I don't know if he still did it. Is still doing it. There was some drama surrounding that, I think, with that whole situation with Nick Cannon or something like that. I don't remember. Jason need to learn to stay behind the scenes. I wish. And you sitting there talking about, well, you respect Beyonce grind, but you don't respect. Well, Beyonce got a formidable talent. Beyonce sings, she dances, she runs in heels, which fucked up her knees, which I just talked about. She got surgery on because she crossed them legs. Like them knees is about. She got 2-year-old knees. Like the young lady knees in a 44-year-old body. So Beyonce out here like doing her Madonna for Music squats in pumps. So, she's feeling rejuvenated. But what is your formidable talent besides being messy? I'm not going to sit up here and say that media isn't a formidable talent. It's like we all get up here, we have an opinion, we talk the news, we give our opinion on it, and we go about our business. So it is a skill that goes with that. But it just feels like to me he thrives on being messy. And to me, that's not a talent. That's just being a messy faggot. And any homosexual can do that. I was so mad about how the internet turned this. That's my way of getting the internet's attention. Sir, that means it's time to log off. This may be his job, but he has people working for him. Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, did y'all see, wasn't there a video, how the internet, shout out to Kayla said, she did a video called How the Internet Fell Out of Love with Ryan Murphy. I need to watch that, especially with this video. This recent interview he did where he's comparing the upcoming season to American Horror Story to the Avengers. Sir, the Avengers was good from all 3 acts in that movie. The Infinity War, the Endgame, and all of that. It never had a moment where it starts out good and then just goes completely off the rails halfway through. Like, we've never had an Avengers movie that did that. But a lot of your stuff has. Not Kelly being a lapdog girl. Let Beyonce fight this light-skinned queen herself. Look, that's what I said. The one thing that always annoys me is that Kelly Rowland stay out here being her lieutenant. It's like, this girl, let Beyonce fight her own battles. Why you out here going so hard for her? I love Bay. Her injection got the girls hot and bothered. Oh, you said her in action. I said injection. Suffer the consequence of having a falling out with Jason Lee, a tabloid blogger. Now he acted a fool on Beyonce internet trying to get back on her good side. What's about the consequences? If you don't go play in traffic, everybody's scared of yo. Wrestling in the face having ass, because we know that ain't natural. All that filler and that liposuction. Russian roulette, Perez Hilton or Jason Lee. Perez. Because at least Perez has shown some growth. He's shown that in a way, even though he does annoy me at times. Perez definitely has shown that he's evolved in a lot of ways. Yes, he could be messy as a human, yeah, of course. But to me, it's like I could tolerate Perez Hilton more than I could tolerate Jason Lee. All right. Where we going? Okay, so now we got, damn, I didn't realize we got so many topics up here. I think we got 12 or 13 topics, and I was adding a couple of things up in here. But okay. So now let's get into our next story. And let's talk about Belcalis Almanzar, who, speaking of injections and things, because we were just talking about a certain person that got injections in their face. Now we got to talk about somebody who said they took the injections out their ass. And so Cardi B has admitted that, because I guess people was talking about that her butt, I guess, looks smaller. And so she's like, yeah, there's a little stark difference in the booty. Because, all that stuff that y'all be putting, that fixer flat, y'all be shooting in y'all butt, that stuff ain't healthy. So she went and said, a lot of y'all keep telling me to go get my ass reduced, she said in a recent Instagram live session per People. I don't need to get my ass reduced. Newsflash, I did get my ass reduced. The Up artist, who's 33, received biopolymer injections at 21, but she underwent surgery in January 2024 to make them smaller. She commented that she can't just go and lipo my butt because my skin is kind of loose, which is why my ass shakes so much. Undergoing liposuction, she continued, would make her butt drop. There's another drawback to it too. She says, so I would have to cut myself. And I'm not cutting myself. I'm not sitting down 4 months. I'm outside, like I said. I like my body how it looks right now. I'm comfortable in my skin. Well, some people will say, well, all that damn surgery, you should be. But here's the thing. If you have the money to be able to shape your body and your face and to mold whatever image that you want it to be, who are we to judge? That's your money, and you have to live with that ass. You got to live with that small waist and big booty. You got to live with whatever features or things that you get done to your face and your teeth or whatever the case is. Cardi is happy where she is. Let her be. She did say that she got 2 lipos and 1 ass reduction. She said that she attributed the latter to her stature. She says, I'm a small girl and I'm a very small petite girl. My mom is petite. My sister's petite. My aunts are small. She said earlier this year that she had dropped the plan to travel to Colombia to have her backside made small. No, girl, you ain't gonna come back alive. You go to Colombia. She said, I was saying that, but I'm not gonna do it. She said on March 24th. I was going to take a little bit of butt out, but I don't have time for that. Girl, stay in the U.S. We got good surgeons out here. Yes, it'll be a little more pricey, but you work enough when you could afford it. Don't you go to these old chop shops in Mexico or Colombia or Brazil or wherever else. You ain't going to come out alive. She also noted that she was really comfortable with her body. As we stated before, the Grammy winner has 4 young kids, including 3 with a strange husband Offset and 1 with NFL star Stephon Diggs. On a societal media post, she said, "What I do so I could look snatched." Is that English? Her well, she did say that her daily regimen consists of eating grilled salmon and chicken, as well as drinking beverages with fiber. Oh, that sounds like a good thing to do. I love me some grilled salmon. Let me tell you, there's this salmon, I think it's like strawberry salmon, grilled strawberry salmon thing that they have at Cava. Oh my God, the salmon over there be banging. Shit, I might actually get that for lunch tomorrow. but yeah, I'll be living for the salmon, depending on who makes it. But yeah, Cardi, if you happy, we're happy. If you like it, I love it. Um, And people got to realize any kind of surgery, whatever the case is kind of risky. So don't be out here doing anything too crazy where you're going to end up not in the UN because you got 4 kids to raise, Chad. And you got to, among others, because she do say that she support a lot of people in her family, not just her children. So I say all that, and she said Hennessy is not one of them that she supports. So y'all can get off that. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding Belle Calise talking about her butt? Yeah, I'm talking about getting your ass reduced. And my thing is, how dare y'all get on social media and tell somebody what to do with their body? Why don't you do something with your ass? Or get your behind into a damn gym instead of worrying about what some other celebrity got to do. I tell you, y'all got some brass balls get on this internet saying this shit y'all be saying. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Cardi is also dropping a new song tonight, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm excited. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. It was a cute little song which she was talking about in her little Dominican Republic flag bikini. I do agree, but I feel bad because he admits that because of him outing gay men, his treatment of Britney Spears, he accepted the fact that he set himself to be sex. What are you talking about? It's like you just be saying he, and I don't know who we talking about in the conversation. The gay community basically said undateable and unforgivable. You and your hand. Oh, we're talking about Perez Hilton. All right, child, let's get into this mess. So apparently, at this point in Diddy's lifetime, nothing can hold him down. Oh no, I got to keep on moving because it looks like that regardless of what that little situation that happened that caused Diddy to be put in solitary confinement, they done moved his prison sentence again. So it looks like, I believe, if I'm correct, Diddy only got to be spending 90 more months, well, a year and a half, I will say, he has left in prison before he gets out. So The disgraced mogul, who was recently sent to solitary confinement following a fight with a fellow inmate, had his release date changed from February 23rd, 2028 to January 24th, 2028, according to Federal Bureau of Prisons records reviewed by E! News. Combs is currently serving a 4-year prison sentence for prostitution-related charges. The new change marks the 5th time Combs's release date has been updated, as he was initially set to be released on May 28, 2028, during his sentencing. The date was later pushed to June 4th, 2028, before moving again to April 25th, 2028. It was then updated again to April 15th, 2028, before moving to February and now January. The news comes less than a week after the 56-year-old was moved to solitary confinement at the Fort Dix Federal Correctional Institution in New Jersey for his involvement in an altercation at the prison, according to multiple outlets citing sources with knowledge on the matter. The fight allegedly broke out when another inmate made a remark to Combs, one source told ABC News. However, the rep for the low-security prison explained they would not be provided additional details about the incident, saying, quote, "We are not at liberty to disclose or provide internal information pertaining to any inmate in our custody," the spokesperson said at a July 24th, in a July 24th statement to TMZ. Such information would not be available for the public domain. Now, the Bad Boy record founder was transferred to New Jersey prison from New York's Metropolitan Detention Center in late October. He was sentenced to 50 months in prison after the New York jury found him guilty under the Mann Act on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. He was acquitted on sex trafficking and racketeering charges. While still in the clink, Combs sold his house in Miami's Star Island for $55 million in early July. The home sits next to the rapper's other Miami residence, which was raided by federal agents on March 2024. During the raid, authorities seized more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant, as well as various freak-off supplies, including narcotics, according to court documents unsealed following Combs' September 2024 arrest. Now, during freak-offs, Combs distributed a variety of controlled substances to victims, in part to keep the victims obedient and compliant, the federal indictment read. Sometimes, unbeknownst to the victims, Combs kept videos he filmed of victims engaged in sex acts with commercial sex workers. However, Combs' legal team pushed back on the allegations, fighting for an appeal to overturn his conviction. In court filings obtained by CNN, his lawyers argued that the freak-offs, which acted as the basis of his conviction as he moved individuals across state lines to engage in sex acts, should not be applicable under the Mann Act, and instead should be considered amateur corn shoots. So they said freak-offs and hotel nights were highly choreographed sexual performances involving the use of costumes, role play, and stage lighting. So now he thought he was Ron Jeremy, like you up in there choreographing your own movies. His counsel wrote in court documents, which were filmed so Combs and his girlfriends could watch the amateur adult cinematography later. So there was that. But look, it doesn't matter at this point. They keep edging and moving his date. I would not be surprised if they don't move it again, and he won't be getting out. And now he'll be getting out December of 2027, just in time to see the Avengers or Doomsday, since both of them is coming out around the same time on the big screen. But I can't see Diddy going to the damn movies. But then again, he'll go and rent out a theater at AMC. We've seen celebrities do that before. So yeah, there you have it. That's the latest. And I want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story? Are y'all excited and excited that the diddler is getting out of jail a little earlier, that they moved his damn release date up yet again? So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. The disgraced mogul always sends me. Well, first of all, it's funny because I added that. Like when I read the article, they said something that, they called him the rapper. That was what E! News put. And I was like, nope, I'm gonna change it up. I'm gonna put the disgraced mogul because that's what he is. Let's call it what it is. Not sure how I ended up here. I agree Jared Leto is a part of the bigger picture than a cult. That guy was brought up in a cult as most celebrities. They're not normal people. All right, y'all. So now we are down to our final four topics. So before we get to our final four topics, hit that like button, subscribe, smash the notification bell, hype the channel, do all the things that's going to help push this show out there in the good old, as in algorithm. So without further ado, and please and thank you for all of that. Without further ado, y'all, child, let's get into some messy homosexual news. And let's talk about this Zionist POS, George O'Dowd, aka Boy George. So Boy George has found himself in a bit of controversy because apparently he has this reggae song. That's what I heard. I haven't heard the song, but I'm hearing that the type of song it is reggae. So Boy George has a new song out that is pro-Israel and anti-Palestinian, promoting genocide, that sort of thing, being a genocide denier, where Palestinians are being killed for sport, basically, by Israel. And then I just saw a recent video today from Chuck Schumer. Oh my God, I should play y'all that video too. Actually, I'm gonna go to my Instagram and pull that up because you had Chuck Schumer, hunchback of Notre Dame looking ass, running out. Oh yeah, I seen there's a video of Abdul Al Sayed explaining why Democrats refuse to support Medicare for all. Oh, I definitely need to look at that clip. And that's here's why Kevin went and did that interview. But anyway, so I have the Chuck Schumer video. Did I post it? I don't think I did. But I wish I would have had that video. I would have showed y'all that basically he was coming out and talking about AIPAC and they don't believe in the Torah and all this stuff. And that's why we have to take our land back and all those. So yeah, and he was at an AIPAC fundraiser spewing this. And this has been making, I don't know if this was recent, but I've been noticing that it's been making the rounds. So if you look it up on the social medias, I think I posted it in my Instagram stories on social media, which is Chris Avalon 1, or I think it's also my Facebook as well. I may have to look it up. But anyway, speaking, because it all kind of falls into this, after this video came out and it caused controversy with the song, one of his former co-stars who performed alongside him in Moulin Rouge basically called him out, Patrick Clanton. So the Broadway vet shared a pair of posts on his IG stories on Tuesday slamming the Karma Chameleon singer who performed alongside him during a stint in the Moulin Rouge stage musical, which is set to close at the end of August. Saying, I used to defend his performance in our show, but F it, he wrote. He was a terrible performer, and I was embarrassed to be in the show with him. Boy, bye. Now, Entertainment Weekly has reached out to reps for Boy George for comment because he posted his Instagram story this AV Club newsletter post, which basically was like, Boy George says his genocide-denying song was created with AI. Says the Karma Chameleon singer, truthfully, I would struggle to write this with a human. Well, you need a robot to write a song when it takes humans to incorporate what a machine is supposed to say. Because for those of you who aren't that bright, and by bright, I mean, those of you, I mean, Boy George, wouldn't it, I mean, it takes a human being putting stuff like this in a machine in order for the AI to follow what they want it to follow. So how would you be struggling to write that with a human being? It don't take much for y'all to be a bigot. You need help from a robot to be a bigot? Any other time, y'all don't have no problem spewing y'all hatred and vitriol and shit online. I don't think you need to use AI as a damn excuse. It's like, yeah, I'm sitting here stalling trying to find this there. Oh yeah, I found it. Hold on. I'm gonna pull up the whole Chuck Schumer thing in a second. But in the meantime, hold on. I was like, let me make sure I got it ready for y'all hoes when we get around to it. Okay, now I found the video. We're gonna play in a second. So yeah, but then it had this thing. So then also he posted this in his Instagram stories. Whenever people would ask about him, I'd say he was really nice, but as Sondheim taught us, nice is different than good. The last line is a reference to Stephen Sondheim's lyric from I Know Things Now, a song performed by Little Red Riding Hood Into the Woods after it's heavily implied that she had a sexual encounter with the big bad wolf. Clanton was responding to an AV Club article reporting that Boy George recently released the pro-Israel song "We Will Dance Again," on the bodies and the graves of dead Palestinians, men, women, and children, which was created with AI. He said, "I call it AI for good," he wrote on Threads. "Truthfully, I would struggle to write this with a human." Boy George portrayed Harold Zidler, the cabaret host played by Jim Broadbent in the original movie, for a 3-month stint in 2024 and again for a 2-month run in 2025. Danny Burstein originated the role when the show began in Boston, and Zidler has since been portrayed by the likes of Titus Burgess, Wayne Brady, and Megan Thee Stallion. Clanton served as a standby for the role as well as Toulouse-Lautrec, the painter playwright portrayed by John Leguizamo in Baz Luhrmann's film. He recently shared an Instagram post reflecting on the difficulties of working as a standby performer in a show on its last legs, saying being a standby understudy swing is a tough job. Besides the obvious challenges, one aspect that doesn't get talked about is the fact that you never know when your final show will be. Yes, the show is closing on August 30th, but I will more than likely have already performed my final show weeks before that. So from now until August 30th, I'm treating every show as if it's my last. I've got a few other scheduled dates that I'm on, so if you've been meaning to see me in the show over the last 4 years, that will likely be our last chance. So I'm glad that we have somebody speaking out. Boy Joe's a fucking clown. Like, quiet as is kept. He's always come out with like some trashy ass bubblegum music that nobody was really checking for. And one of the ones I found fun. Oh wait, this was something different. I had a friend that basically said I regret doing blow with him. It's like, you even posted that in the comments. So yeah, once upon a time somebody did booger sugar with him, and I'm like, girl, I would have kept that to myself. But I love when y'all be getting messy in the comments. And besides Carmen Chameleon, Boy George's music is straight up ass. Like I've always said, like when he had the whole trying to do the whole drag thing, and he was basically like watered down bubblegum pop. Like he was never like that edgy homosexual that I was living for. Like I love the Freddie Mercury's and the Rob Halford's, Judas Priest lead singer, George Michael. I've always liked my gays to be edgy and attractive. So, and Boy George is neither. He was just a mess. I mean, but then again, we shouldn't be surprised that he's an asshole. I mean, look who his manager is. Dorit's soon-to-be ex-husband, PK, another mess who's having an identity crisis, don't know if he coming or going, or, run after young puss, similar to Kyle Richards' tired-ass husband. So there you have it. Oh yeah, and then let me pull up this video that I want y'all to hear about the whole Chuck Schumer thing, because I was like, this is the way these people think. And he said the quiet part out loud. This is why, and this is also why we need to get his ass out of office too. So let's hear Quasimodo basically defend AIPAC and Jews who basically want to, the president of the United States is not Trump, it's Netanyahu. So let's play this clip and then we'll come back and talk.
The view of Palestinians is simple. Well, the Europeans treated the Jews badly, culminating in the Holocaust, and they gave them our land as compensation. Of course, we say it's our land. The Torah says it, but they don't believe in the Torah. Okay. So that's the reason there is not peace. They invent other reasons, but they do not believe in a Jewish state, and that is why we in America must stand strong with Israel through thick and thin. We must, because that is the reason, not any of these other false shibboleths, why there is not peace in the Middle East. Too many people don't understand that here in America.
There's a lot hidden behind the headlines. To get the missing context, follow us.
No, sir, we definitely get it. We definitely understand. The fact of the matter is, you just gonna go hard on that vine. You will die on the vine for Israel. I mean, if you care so much about Israel and if they should exist or whatever the case is, go live in Israel. Go do their bidding over there. We're not. America is America. Y'all are y'all selves. You're the ones out here getting free health care and education, and we got to pay for our shit. So how is it that we using our taxpaying dollars for them to live rent free on our stuff, but you want us to continue to fund a war that we didn't ask for? So Chuck Schumer, go fuck yourself. I met that man once, and this was like when I was working a cricket match, and I was working in one of the suites, whatever. He came in. That energy just made me feel a little funny. But yeah, it's like he got to go to him, Hakeem Jeffrey, and all you damn shills out here. And yeah, you can continue to sit up here and down the vine of this foolishness, but y'all didn't realize the people have woken up. We don't want to keep getting involved in Israel shenanigans. We want Netanyahu in prison. And we want our money to stop funding these unnecessary wars. And so y'all gonna keep losing. And we're gonna continue to see progressive Democrats winning seats, and you centrists, you people that want to continue to go into the middle, or you MAGA lights, y'all gonna keep losing. And to me, it's like, because of that money, the AIPAC money, the funding and stuff, that's where the Republicans and Democrats, because I will say the Democrats will always be better than Republicans in a lot of policy and things of that nature. But when it comes down to it, y'all are two sides of the same bird when it comes to these mega corporations and the funding of buying politicians. Y'all are both two wings on the same bird. So that's where the in common stuff comes from. As far as like policies and things, when it comes to cleaning up, because that's what's going to happen once this fat fuck gets out of office. The Democrats going to be spending the 4 years cleaning up his mess and trying to get America back on track, which I think is probably not going to happen until 2040. So I'll say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story about humpback Schumer and the other fat fuck, Boy George, and his tied horrible ass song? I haven't heard it, but anything created with AI, I'm calling it horrible. Because to me, it's like, you're not even taking the time to come up and be creative in the studio with the music. You got to use a robot to come up with a thought, when humans program this stuff in a machine for it to do what you want it to do. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. He might be. When you say of ass gay music, and not ass in a good way. Name one Boy George song that isn't Karma Chameleon or Do You Really Want to Hurt Me? We can't. Well, I tumble for you. Time won't give me time. There's two. The Crying Game, bitch. I did live for that movie, and that's the only reason why I know that. So yeah, there's a couple of songs he got. Meanwhile, Rob Halford is the poster boy for alternative homosexuals, proclaimed by the people as metal god. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Rob Halford from Judas Priest. All right, y'all. So let's get into some positive news, because I gotta cleanse my palate of that negativity, and we gotta talk about my girl, Fuck. So she got a new gig. I know she dropped a new song. The video was out. A friend of mine worked on it, so definitely go out there and support Alaska's new music. But Alaska is about to do the national tour of Oh Mary, which I think is pretty awesome. And she said this is a dream job for her to encounter. So yeah, they're about to go on their little national tour, and it looks like they got my girl Alaska being a part of it, as well as Jay Harrison Ghee, or is it G? Because I remember I just saw him at the Tonys with that Pink was hosting. So people can exclusively announce that RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars champ Alaska Thunder 5000 and Tony winner Jay Harrison G will both star as the famously unhinged version of Mary Todd Lincoln in the upcoming 2026-27 national tour of Broadway's hit comedy. Written by Tony and Olivier. We got to get fancy up in this bitch, because that's the French award. Tony and Olivier Award winner Cole Escola, and directed by Tony winner Sam Pinkleton. Oh Mary follows the weeks leading up to Abraham Lincoln's assassination through the eyes of the outrageously dissatisfied former First Lady, whose long-buried cabaret dreams take center stage. Alaska will launch the tour in the title role beginning September 19th at the Bushnell in Hartford, Connecticut. It will continue through January 17, 2027 in St. Paul, Minnesota. During that stretch, which includes a stop at LA's Abramson Theater, Ghee will appear alongside Alaska as Mary's husband, the show's satirical version of Abraham Lincoln. Yeah, y'all about to gag because Abraham Lincoln about to be played by a black man. Now, beginning January 19th in Chicago, Ghee will swap the stovepipe hat for Mary Todd Lincoln's signature curls, taking over the lead role through the end of the tour in May. In doing so, the theater star will become the first actor to both play Mary Todd Lincoln and Mary's husband in the Tony and Olivier Award-winning comedy. Saying, quote, "I've often been asked what my dream role would be. I've never had a dream role until I saw Oh Mary." This is what Alaska said in a statement. So it was an actual dream come true that I, Alaska Thunder, get to play Mary fucking Todd in the greatest play of the generation. The performer first rose to fame as fan favorite on season 5 of RuPaul's Drag Race before returning to win season 2 of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars. Since then, she's become one of the industry's most recognizable names, releasing multiple studio albums and launching her own podcast and digital content network called Moguls of Media, which she co-created with fellow Drag Race and Race Chaser co-host Willem. So it's like, you know what? At this point, what I love about Alaska, because I know for the longest, she has been saying that she wants to go back on All Stars and do an all winter season. And you know what? In a perfect world, I would love to see Alaska back on my screen. Because I definitely feel like, you know, she's already got a fan base, but I would love for a new generation of Drag Race fans to be able to see her thrive on the screen. However, because I guess of her connection with Willem and building Bomb, which some people feel like is a satirical spin on WoW, and them feeling the way that they feel, what are you gonna do? They're gonna be shady. They're gonna do the things that they're gonna do. And the reality is, I just feel like Alaska doesn't need Drag Race. She's beyond Drag Race. We love her outside of the show. I definitely would love to see Oh Mary with her in it. I mean, I did see her last play that she created that was off Broadway. That's where I saw Frankie Grande was at the same show I was at. And when she had Juju B and Jam Sport and a bunch of other queens, Luxnor, London, they were all in this show that Alaska created. So she's definitely a theater girl. She definitely has the gift of gab and the energy and the wherewithal to do a show. So I definitely think this is a perfect fit. And I definitely think that her playing Mary Todd Lincoln is definitely going to be it's definitely going to sell out. I definitely think people are going to support it, and I definitely hope that people support it. She also recently co-wrote and starred which I was just talking about, in the off-Broadway hit Drag the Musical, which earned multiple award nominations and an Outer Critics Circle Award during its acclaimed run. Her screen credits include Hulu's Drag Me to Dinner, The Last Sharknado, It's About Time, and Scared Famous, among others. Saying, "I'm infinitely grateful to the inspired genius known as Cole Escola for creating the best role in the best show ever to exist. How do you do it? Are you a time traveler, perhaps?" Alaska continued her statement. "And to my dear pal and confidant, Sam Pinkleton, thank you for bringing this play to life with such brilliance and bombast. I can't wait." The drag superstar also joked that her fiance, Matt Herman, who I've met, he's actually cool too, is a celebrated Abraham Lincoln impersonator, calling the cast destiny. She earned her statement by saying the national tour's upcoming Sin City stop will make her the first ever Mary to don the hallowed hoop skirt in Las Vegas, an accolade which will surely make it onto my obituary. As for Ghee, the character made Broadway history in 2023 as the first openly non-binary performer to win the Tony Award for Best Leading Actor in a Musical, taking home the honor for their acclaimed performance as Daphne/Jerry in Some Like It Hot. Oh yeah, Some Like It Hot. I saw that on Broadway too. That was a really good play. The role also earned a Grammy, Drama Desk, and Outer Critics Circle Award, cementing G as one of Broadway's leading musical theater stars. In addition to starring as Lola in Kinky Boots and originating the role of Andre Mayhem in Miss Doubtfire on Broadway, G has appeared in Netflix's Raising Dion, Fox's Accused, and recently starred in the world premiere of the stage adaptation of Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. Now, when did that come? Did you play the Lady Chablis? Playing both Mary's husband and Mary Todd Lincoln is a dream come true for G, they said in a statement. I have seen O'Mary 3 times and relish the beauty of this show, how different people shine so brightly in these roles, and yet you see the influence of Cole all over the production, they said. I love getting to switch it up and show multiple sides of myself. We all possess so much within us. If we surrender to circumstances, we will find the possibility for expansion beyond relief. G-Star shared their excitement for starring alongside Alaska too, saying they are bound to be some brilliant moments, and we're going to set the road on fire with this electrifyingly hilarious play, the actor said. Now, further casting for the national tour of O'Mary will be announced in the upcoming months. In addition to the aforementioned cities, the production will also travel to San Diego, San Francisco, Seattle, Boston, Washington, D.C., Detroit, Philadelphia, Charlotte, Cleveland, Tampa, and Houston. It's currently scheduled to wrap in West Palm Beach in May. O'Mary became one of Broadway's biggest surprise hits after opening at the Lyceum Theater on July 2024, breaking box office records and becoming the first show in the 2024-25 Broadway season to recoup its investment. A production opened on London's West End in late 2025, where it went on to win the 2026 Olivier Award for Best Entertainment in Comedy Play. Best New Entertainment in Comedy or Comedy Play. Escola originated the role of Mary Todd Lincoln on Broadway, winning the 2025 Tony Award for Best Leading Actor in a Play. Since then, its rotating lineup of stars have stepped in to the one-act comedy on the main stem, including Jane Krakowski, Titus Burgess, Betty Gilpin, Hannah Salau, Jinx Monsoon, John Cameron Mitchell, Maya Rudolph, and Hacks breakout May Stalter, who is currently playing the role. Now, earlier this month, it was announced that a live stage performance of the play in One London's West End, led by Escola, Michael Urie, and a number of original cast members from Broadway and across the pond, will be filmed for future theatrical release. Well, that's good because I definitely wanted to see it. And I never got the opportunity to see it, but now that I'm hearing that it's going to be released as a theatrical release, I'll definitely use it as a Fathom event and go pay for a ticket and go see it for $20 at because I'm sure it's not going to be included with my A-list, my my AMC A-list subscription. So I'll definitely go and see it in the theater when it comes out. And with the original cast, I mean, I would love to see it with Alaska too. But with the original cast, like Cola Scola, I definitely want to check it out. So shout out to you, Alaska. Shout out to you, J. Harrison G. And I'm glad that the show is still going. And Cola Scola is definitely more off because of it. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding Alaska that got her a new gig on Broadway? I do wonder how is it going to affect Race Chaser and that sort of thing, because if there's somebody that's going to wrap next year, but the new season of RuPaul's Drag Race, it was at season 19, that's going to be going on. So she'll just have to carve out time to film, her recap with Willem in between. Look, we know how to make it work, us performers. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. I guess being friends with Willem is one way to get blacklisted. I wonder if Alaska disowned him. If Alaska disowned him, would she be welcome back? I don't think that Alaska would ever do that because, like I was saying before, she and Willem have business together. They have the Mom Studio, and they produce a lot of content, especially the show with Meatball and Big Dipper. That's on their roster. I believe also the Delta Work show, Very Delta, is on there. So they have a lot of drag queen led programming that they do on that channel. And so I wouldn't want her to like fuck up her business because of RuPaul and them. Alaska is still a big queen, a big successful star outside of Drag Race, so she don't need the show. And to me, I would never want to go against. I mean, I like Willem, so I wouldn't even want to be like, "Oh, I'm going to disown you because I want to get on a TV show where they control the narrative and try to manipulate you in a certain way." Because in a way, while we all love Alaska, producers on the show might try to be messy and try to turn her into a villain, which I know the fandom would not go for. So they try a lot of mess on that show. It ain't worth it, in my opinion. Now, speaking of Drag Race and messy, let's talk about Plain Jane. So apparently, Plain Jane just recently did an interview with Entertainment Weekly, where y'all know the first episode, she lasted 1.5 episodes of Project Runway. And I'm gonna tell you, the last time I only watched the season premiere of Project Runway. I could care less about this season because I felt like, in a way, because of the success of Utica making it to the end of the show. And she didn't win. They gave it to VJ, which, in my opinion, I don't feel like she should have won, but whatever. I'm not the producers or people of the show. That's who they chose. And quiet as it's kept, y'all ain't gonna buy her damn fashions anyway. So, with that being said, Utica was on the show. I guess they realized that the ratings had a bump because y'all decided to ride the coattails of Drag Race. And because you had a drag queen from Drag Race that was making fashions on the show, then y'all decided, oh, let's add a couple more. So we're going to add one person that used to date a Drag Race girl that designs for drag queens being on the show. They kept him, but you chopped two girls who competed on the same season of Drag Race, season 15. That'd be Q and Plain Jane. So y'all decided to get rid of them. But Plain Jane is out here talking and decided to go in on Law's hair. But girl, I'm like, I know you're not talking. But let's get into it because you were talking about Law's wig choices. So Plain Jane took off almost as quickly as she landed as one of the first designers eliminated from Project Runway season 22. Now the RuPaul's Drag Race it was season 16, not 15. Season 16 finalist and House of Villains star, she ain't last long on that show either, is reacting to her brief time on the show alongside fellow season 16 Queen Q. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly, during which she explains how she was cast on the Heidi Klum-fronted reality competition series and how she really feels about Drag Race judge Laura Roach, reading her on the Project Runway stage, complete with a few signature and comically turbulent Entertainment Weekly, I love y'all, but y'all up in here trying to equate Plain Jane with reading somebody. That bitch can read a pamphlet, let alone Laura Roach. So get off my line with that foolishness. But let's go along with it. So Project Season 22, so they said how they wanted to know how did she get on the show. So Plain Jane said, I got scouted. The casting producer reached out to my manager, Maddie, and I heard of the offer through that. I went through the entirety of the casting process. There was no foul play, nothing unusual off the books. They thought that after all was said and done, I was perfect for the show. Then they said people forget that you received strong praise from the Drag Race judges on the Dollhouse Design Challenge. Yeah, that might be cute or whatever. That's Drag Race. That's not Project Runway. And that outfit that Plain brought out, hideous. They always want to go, it took costume. No, it was just horrendous. And obviously, drag queens create costumes. Like, I hate when I say costumey. It's just, y'all need to expand on your vocabulary, the judges over there on Project Runway. But that's just me. So they said, I've become so known and notorious off the show for being outspoken, and people forget a lot of the talents that I possess and what allowed me to succeed on Drag Race in the first place. But when you make all the outspokenness and the shenanigans and the I want to have a moment on TV more prevalent to your talent, what you put out there is what you get back. Then they bring up Laura read you on Project Runway for reusing a look from the Drag Race season 16 premiere. On episode 1, Heidi Klum and Christian Siriano explained that you were asked to bring one look from home and weren't given constraints. How long did you have? And they basically said maybe a week before we left. They specified that we needed to bring a look from home to be judged. In my mind, I was like, there's no way we're going to be straight up judged on something we didn't make there. I brought options and invented challenges in my mind. I took whatever prompt they gave me at face value. Maybe we'd have to make another look inspired by it. I wasn't anticipating we'd be judged on that. As is, I brought a few looks. The production said I had to choose. I was like, I guess this one, shit. We had time to alter it, and I walked down the run. I walked it down the run. I was saying, and it walked down the runway, and just like that, it was game over for Miss Plain, I guess. Was there more to the exchange with Law, judging that we didn't see on air? And said, no, you saw back there exactly what you saw. I set Law up for a few zingers with that response. I'm not too mad at it. The critiques were pretty brief. I mostly heard from Law, and I take no offense to that critique of Law. I wouldn't say my look was criticized in a way that would make me question my career path. My career path was, in fact, reaffirmed by Law, saying that this was a drag look and perhaps not a look meant for this particular show. Well, honey, I would think you would have known that if you're going to be doing a look or whatever. Like, you're making it for a model to walk down the runway wearing. You're not making clothes for now. If this was a show that you're a designer and you're making an outfit, like you're like a drag queen is looking for an outfit to wear, and they're the client and you're the designer, and then you have to put the outfit on a drag queen to wear to walk down the runway. If that was that kind of show, then I could be like all for the craziness of that outfit. So, anyways, that sounds like there's a show in there somewhere that I just came up with, and I would like to host it, maybe judge it. So if it was something like that, then I could totally understand. But you should know, if you're on Project Runway, they want to look that, a client that I guess is on Saks or whatever, Fifth Avenue shopping, would actually wear. And I find it funny, she up in here trying to read Law on the wig. We're gonna get to that in a second, but bitch, this is what you wore as your promo look. Like, really, sis? Sometimes you leave yourself open to be read. So then they would ask, would you like to read any of Law's looks in return? She said, Law has a lot of interesting and questionable wig choices, from the short black wig to the short blonde wig, and Ellen DeGeneres Jane Lynch do with the visible lace he had on. Law has some questionable hair and fashion choices for himself, but you can't say that whatever Law has been picking out for Zendaya recently hasn't been impeccable. She's the only girl who's doing it on red carpets these days. That's why Law is a celebrity stylist. Well, she calls herself an architect, but okay. Law is known for curating stunning looks for his celebrity clients, but maybe sort of skimping out on himself, unfortunately. As a drag queen, I relate to that because I'd say I'm a celebrity stylist for plain Jane. I curate sickening outfits when I need to, but out of drag, as Andrew, I spend a little less time on him. Law is in the same mentality. Like, I can wear whatever, girl. I can slap on these shake and go bus driver wig with visible lace as long as my client is happy. Y'all found that shit funny? Because first of all, you do not see the lace, so you tried it. Now, Discord Adams, y'all remember, also had some pointed words for Law when she was eliminated from Drag Race season 18. She said, Lord knows he's making TV. I think Law is outspoken like me and shares his honest opinions that, with the knowledge that more absolute statements like this is hideous. The more he speaks like that, the more traction he gets. Behind those critiques is honesty and truth. I don't think he does it to be mean. I'll never take something that somebody like Law says to heart, especially on a show like Project Runway, where I was just happy to be there. I wasn't looking for validation in my design. Perhaps if Law said something like that to me on Drag Race, maybe I'd be singing a different tune. Excuse me. Like Discord Adams. Unlike Discord, I could never perform poorly on Drag Race because I'm not horrible at fucking drag like she is. Now, when reached out for comment on Plane's comment, Discord tells Entertainment Weekly, luckily for me, I didn't perform poorly on Drag Race either. My comment was how Law was mean to everyone, not me specifically. Nor do I have to resort to rage bait for engagement because, unlike Plane, I'm not horrible at drag like she is. Just kidding. No, you're not. If she really believed that, she wouldn't have been in my house begging me to audition for Drag Race, since she's been dying to see me on it since Transformations with James St. James. And then last but certainly not least, they asked, after the elimination, you said on the show that it was a waste of time. Do you still feel that way? She said, I rescind my statement that it was a waste of time. I would have loved to stay a little bit longer. I'm so delusional that even after seeing my look on the runway, I was under the impression that I was safe. I don't think any appearance on the network is a waste of time. I'm happy to do any other TV show, of course, because now that you do Messy and all other stuff, now we probably gonna see you on Worst Cooks in America, the Big Bake Off, or whatever tired ass reality show that's still left that y'all still be watching on network television. Anything that is going to cause an opportunity for Jane to expand on her 15 minutes, she going to do it. And she'll keep getting eliminated fast, like she always does. Except I did hear that the rumor is, she is on All Stars 12, and she makes it to the semifinals. I think I have the list of alleged queens. Hold on a second, because you know how to. Look, spoiler alert! If y'all don't want to hear it, go on to the next thing and then come on back. So apparently, because they're only doing 2 brackets, and now it's gonna be 4 episodes. So in bracket 1, it's supposed to be Lady Camden, Q. So you're gonna see Q again. Mirage, Lana Jarre, Corey King, and Athena Dion. I don't know why Athena Dion's doing that. She's good at drag, not drag race. And then bracket 2, you got Tempest du Jour, Dahlia Sin, Lux Noir London, Plain Jane, Dita Von T Star, and Joella Ella Ella. So those are the girls that's supposed to be on the thing. And to me, it's just like Plain knows. It's like ever since she knows like being messy is her thing, she's trying to follow in the footsteps of Mistress Isabel Brooks. The only difference is Mistress is better at it than she is. You just come across as so annoying and polarizing. Mistress is messy, but my thing is this with Mistress, you do things and then you expect people to just go along it because you're you. And then you talk about, well, my mental health I could have been in a situation with my mental health, and you didn't take that because the whole thing was Sasha Colby. And I'm sitting there like, sis, you don't know what these other people be dealing with and what mental state they're in when you go and say the messy things you say about them on Mistress Mondays. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. It's like I always said, you can't poke the bear and tell the bear how mad to get. So this is the latest on the whole Plain Jane Project Runway thing. To me, I just feel like now you're using Drag Race girls as a gimmick for ratings. That McCrae dude, he's so fucking annoying. I don't even know if he's still on the show. I mean, I like Joseph McCrae. I liked him on the last season, but when you brought him back, it's like his ego is so big now. He's annoying. And it was so funny because Laura's like, I know he's not back. When they saw that look come down the runway in the premiere, and it was like, yep, Joseph McCrae is back. But it's like his ego was out of control because he realized. And it was like, I was mad when y'all eliminated him in the last season. But it's like, sir, bring it down. Because when you start coming over with this whole ego thing, it's going to push people to not like you. And then they're going to be hoping for your downfall. So I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story? Do you think it was unfair for them to get rid of Plain Jane off of Project One, or do you feel like it was well deserved because them outfits was a job, or the outfit was a job? It was ugly. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Apollonia Cruz is in the building. You said Jane has become the perennial filler queen of reality TV. I doubt any show would ever actually give her the win. No, she's somebody that, like you said, a filler queen. She's there to be messy and entertain the girls, and that's about it. She's there to make good TV, but will she last long? No, except I'm hearing that she's on All Stars 12 and she makes it into the semifinal bracket. I do think that doing 2 brackets is much better. And then the third bracket is the semifinal. It just makes sense to do it that way. And we get to know the girls better because then now when they do bracket 1, it's a 2-episode premiere and then they get 2 more episodes where it's weekly instead of 3 episodes. And then it's 2-episode premiere and then they only get 1 episode and we done moved on. I definitely think it's much better for them to do it that way because like 2-episode premiere, 2 episodes, and then we move on to the other team gets 4, and then we get the semifinals. I don't know how many it's going to be with the semifinals. I think they should just do 4 episodes of the semifinals. All right, y'all. So now let's get into our final topic. And let's talk about Mama Rouge. So the queen of all queens, I guess, has reason to celebrate because Miss Thing has made the Guinness World Record because she had the biggest turnout in, I think it was Calgary, Canada. Excuse me, Calgary, Canada. I think I'm hungry. That's why all of a sudden I'm gassy or whatever the case was. But yeah, so shout out to on that. So now, a huge congratulations, I should say, to RuPaul, who headlined the largest drag show ever as certified by Guinness World Records. It happened at the Drag Me to Cowboys show at the annual Cowboy Music Festival in downtown Calgary, Alberta, in Canada, on Saturday, July 11th. 7,423 people sashayed their way to breaking the world record for attendance. Legends from RuPaul's Drag Race appeared alongside RuPaul, including Sasha Velour, Sasha Colby, Roxy Andrews, and Coco Montrese, as well as local Canadian performers. The host was Calgary drag queen Fair Enough, who spoke with the Calgary Herald about the historical event. Well, you know who wasn't there? Mistress Isabel Brooks. If you know, you know. Saying, quote, the show has been a labor of love for the last decade with cowboys, they said. It's really lovely that we get the chance to put on the world's largest drag show on one of the biggest music stages in the world like this. One of the other performers, Carla Marks, said the show's popularity proved there is still public support for the LGBTQ plus community. Well, of course. Why don't y'all sit there and think that because of what's happening in the world, especially with this fascist regime full of closet damn cases, that people don't love drag, people don't love the art of drag, people don't love seeing LGBTQ people with talent out here performing. In the age, in the era of wannabe fascism, we still got to come out here and do what we got to do to be seen and be heard and let them know that we are here, we are queer, and we ain't going no MF and where. And that's the tea. So it says it shows that queerness is celebrated and welcome in Alberta. On the biggest stages and in the biggest celebrations in Canada and Alberta, queerness is absolutely a vibrant part of our communities. Our goal with this record is to make this a little worth fighting for in the future, or a title worth fighting for in the future, by expanding the size and the impact of drag performances worldwide, organizers told Guinness World Records. It's shown and grown into this epic adventure that is Drag Me to Cowboys every stampede, and it's just the coolest thing we get to do. Well, can I host? I got to get my passport, but can I host it? I want to be a part of this whole situation because we definitely need to have see more drag, more festivals. I've been saying like for the longest, we need us a queer festival similar to Lollapalooza, to Glastonbury, to Coachella. Like we need that. And there's so much great queer talent out here. We need festivals that support this. Drag queens, out musicians. You know, we got a lot of pop stars out here, queer pop stars. I'm not talking about the Troye Sivan's, just the Troye Sivan's and the Sam Smiths. We have Jordy, who's an openly queer pop star. We have Tom S. Paul, who has some really good pop music, queer pop music. And there's some hyper pop queer acts as well out here too, who we would like to see. So they exist. Cakes the Killer just dropped a new damn album, which surprised the hell out of me. I didn't even know the album was out until I happened to be scrolling through Apple Music. And I was like, when did he put out a record? You know, what's that Butch Queen Vogan music? And they said people were connected through music. Guinness World Records adjudicator Tina Shi, I think it's how you say her name, Shi, S-H-I, told Pink News, this inspired them to embrace life more fully and experience the passion and the joy of music and dance. Whether that day was scorching hot, but that didn't slow down those who danced, sang, and celebrated for hours in an open-air tent. The Herald called it a loud and celebratory hall fit for queens and kings. With the speakers blasting Waiting Tonight by Nari, the crowd jumped along to the beat as Sasha Velour, dressed as a blue tasselled armchair, lip-synced the lyrics with her shoulders dramatically shaking the cushions of her couture. Then the beat dropped, and Sasha Velour popped out of the furniture with a broad smile as the audience sang along to the classic club tune. Following Sasha Velour was Sasha Colby, who Guinness said strutted down the runway as well as a split performing Near Enough, Roxy Andrews, Coca Montrese, and local Canadian artists. But the big moment was when the queen of drag herself, RuPaul, hit the stage and not only danced, but DJ'd as well. Well, yeah, and Ru showed up in his regular regalia, looking like a man, and basically just DJ'd. And so one of the things I've always wondered, I'm like, sir, they paying you to be there and perform, but he'll never get in drag, even when they paying him to get up there and DJ. So yeah, there he is in a little cowboy outfit, arms raised, well, cowboy hat, arms raised, and people was living and having a good time. But I find it funny that with RuPaul being there and stuff and DJing, I said him out of drag. I ain't never seen him move as much out of drag than he does in drag. Because when he be up in drag and he be having to perform on the main stage, one of his songs, y'all be seeing how slow she be moving, right? And she be always do that little Cher shimmy or the Wendy Williams shimmy that Wendy be doing. But then when he in his boy clothes with his sneakers and the loose pants and the white shirt and everything, he be dipping it low, hit it up slow like he Christina Milian. Now, they said the Cowboy Music Festival is in its 30th year, and each year organizers invite a variety of global artists to perform in Cowboys Park. Organizers said they wanted to mark the anniversary this year with an incredible display and set an official record count to prove that LGBTQ plus community was more alive than ever. They also told Guinness they hope to bring more awareness to the history and the art of drag to those around the globe. And especially when we have, they're talking about that Gen Z is the biggest group of LGBT in the situation. Like, out of all the demographics, we got more Gen Zers coming out of the closet than any other demo. More than millennials, more than Gen X, more than boomers, more than, I guess. I mean, are there any left on the what do they call it, the silent era? Well, they might all be dead. And who knows how many may come out during the Gen Alpha era. So a long line, stretched outside the venue around the outskirts of Cowboys Park as attendees waited to get inside. Fair Enough told the Herald a rideshare driver hired to take her and two of the performers to the venue drove away upon pulling up and seeing that we were in drag. They said the driver pulled up to pick us up, took one of us, and then sped off, said Fair Enough, who spoke to Alberta's divisive political climate. Drag is political. It's always been political, and it always will be political, they said. As soon as I put on my outfit, my hair is done, and I walk out there, that's a political statement. The record set standards in contrast to what Alberta's government is doing, an act that requires schools to obtain parental consent before using a different name or pronouns for students under 16 related to gender identity. Also, there's now a requirement for parents to opt in before their child can participate in instruction that deals primarily and explicitly with gender identity, sexual orientation, or human sexuality, as opposed to the previous opt-out approach. It's kind of annoying that there's got to be a whole parental consent thing. They're saying that before their kid can participate in learning anything about gender identity, sexual orientation, and human sexuality. That's kind of pathetic because even though heterosexuality, I guess, in the eyes of the law is considered normal, what if a queer kid, they got to opt in for learning about straight people? Straight stuff is always shoved down our throats 24/7. But when it comes to the gays or anything part of the Levitical plus community, y'all look at that as, well, they're all trying to enforce their, as they say, lifestyle upon y'all. But you always forcing y'all shit on us. So Mitchell Bowers, executive director of Wood Buffalo Pride, said we're definitely seeing a lack of visibility. We're seeing less youth being able to participate, and we're seeing an increase in bullying. The impacts of this current government are currently harming queer people in our communities because they're like, you're having to get permission from parents. I mean, whether or not if you're an ally or if you're someone who's struggling with their sexuality, you're part of the Q in LGBTQ. The reality of it is, what if that child's not ready to come out of the closet? That kid who's still coming to terms with their sexuality, still trying to understand it, and is looking for a place where they can go and be part of community and learning about themselves. They can't do that because they got to go and get permission from their parents in order to opt in a course of learning about gender identity and sexuality. To me, it's a violation of someone's personal situation. Whereas I got to get a permission slip. We're just going to resort to kids going, I guess, looking online for information, and it might not be the right information. At least they should be able to go somewhere and learn from like someone who truly understands and can lead them in the right direction on learning about gender identity and sexuality in a safe space, rather than having to go and searching for stuff on the internet and they're met with God knows what. So good on you guys for doing what you're doing. We need more visibility. We need more people out there that's gonna be a voice for the voiceless. And shout out to you, RuPaul. But I need you to get in your geesh if you're gonna be out here performing and stuff. But he found a niche where he can make his little coins without having to get in drag. And that's the DJing. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are on this whole, RuPaul breaking the world record for largest drag show ever in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Let me know in the comments down below. Child, I forgot to read this thing about Plain Jane earlier that we was talking about. So there was Patrick Sullivan wrote this. Plain Jane's contemptible tin horn gimmick run on Project Runway this season is a shameful display of the clinically unfunny and uninteresting object in motion she is, propelled only by a ghastly hunger to become at best a gif no one uses, a tedious and embarrassing chore. Jesus. And then Plain wrote, nothing like collecting a check from another network while aging troglodytes write monologues on how uninteresting I am. You were my daughter in this moment, though. You put that pen to work, sis. Whatever. And she thought she ate with that line. But one of my friends was like, who loves drag and drag race, said Plain was absolutely embarrassing on her 2 episodes on Project Runway, full stop. She was ridiculous even before that stupid wig she wore in episode 2. No check is worth humiliating yourself on TV, girl. Somebody said, what WTF is a Plain Jane? Not even a check can make these thirsty non-events be interesting or have personality. Another person said, it's embarrassing that she's from Boston, one of my least favorite queens of all time, and I don't know why she thought she could bring a drag look she already wore to a Project Runway Week 1 challenge. And then we got one for Team Plain talking about, I'm Team Plain on this one. Well, a Plain fan. Was her look great? No, but she stood her ground and didn't let the judges talk down on her. All right, well, if you like it, I love it. But anyway, let's see what's in the comments. A queer music festival would be pretty amazing, but I would be very concerned about security. Well, any other venue, security need to be doing their job. Like any other, there's been shows I worked at, Madison Square Garden, where it's a heavily queer crowd. When you work a Gaga show, Madonna show, a Demi Lovato show, it's going to be a lot of homosexuals up in there. So, like any other venue, you have a job, whether you agree politically or not, because there's been many events at Madison Square Garden I don't particularly care for that, but we work them because it's part of the gig. I wish events could go back to being an underground scene, if you know type of ordeal, so there wouldn't be safety concerns. Placing flyers at, I miss the days of when they did that, and that was during the era of like pre-internet. But it's hard to do that now when you got social media. Speaking of Calgary, Alberta, Canada, why am I excited to see Tate McRae perform at Lollapalooza after seeing the promotional flyers for her set? She's slowly building up to be somewhat interesting. Well, she got Frank Gatson as her creative director, so I guess you might as well put him to use, right? Canadians are homophobic. I thought they were supposed to be the nice ones. Child, there's homophobes everywhere. And I believe I've said that in there was something I can't remember what the conversation was, but I was like, oh, it was something about race and whatever. I was like, there's racist. Oh, wait, I know what it was. It was the the incident with Spain versus Argentina and the whole soccer thing. And I was just like, you know what? Races exist everywhere, just like homophobia exists in all different places. Yeah, a lot of Canadians are nice, but you got homophobes there too. I feel like racism, homophobia, those are two things I don't never down the vine. I wish they would, but it's a taught behavior to have people hate on other people. But anyway, y'all, it looks like we are officially at the end of today's show. I want to thank you all for tuning in to the latest episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Hit that like button, subscribe, smash the notification bell, hype the channel, do all the things. I'm like, I did a 4-hour show today, but it was like, look, I had to hit all those topics because I ain't going to be back until next week. So I think Monday I'll be back with a brand new episode. I have to look at my schedule. But yeah, I'll be back next week with a brand new episode. Y'all have a great weekend. I know I'm going to have a busy weekend because a lot of new music coming out. Plus, Spider-Man is coming out over the, tonight. It's probably out already because it's 7:30 as I'm wrapping up the show, PM on the East Coast. So people are already in the theater watching Spider-Man Brand New Day. I'm going to see it tomorrow morning at Lincoln. So love you all for watching. I'll definitely let you guys know all my reviews and all the music and films and stuff over the weekend. Once I'm back. Love you all for watching. Thank you for your continued support. And until next time, ciao, darlings.